Welcome to another episode of Spare Time. I'm Carlos, the host. This episode is brought to you by Umpqua Survival, best store in town. Today, my guest is Mr. Brad Bell. He's actually I don't know what the hell they call it, but he's my daughter's father-in-law. So my daughter married his son. What's up, Brad?
How's it going?
And as usual, everybody's favorite, Mike.
Hello. Here again.
Right on. So how's it going, guys?
Fantastic.
Good.
I'm enjoying visiting the beautiful state of Oregon.
Right on. Yeah, Brad, nobody knows you. Well, my regular listeners probably don't know you. So give us a little description. Introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, Brad Bell from Wyoming. Spent most of my life in the service of others, giving back to the community as much as possible. Worked as a police officer. Currently work in a recovery center now. I work doing residential staff, run the accountability piece for the program. It's a long-term TC community.
Right on. Right on. Pull your mic a little closer, though.
Nope.
But, Mike, what do you got going on?
Oh, same as always. Lots of work.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You were telling me earlier today that sometimes you were getting bored at work because you're getting good at your job now, so you can actually get done.
I'm getting
And so you were like,
more
I'm
efficient.
Go walk around
I wouldn't say
see
good.
what
Just
everybody's doing.
a little more efficient.
Yeah. You were saying that walking around just means that you end up with more emails piling up.
Yeah. Instead of waiting for the emails to come in, just come back to the desk with like 8 or 9.
Yeah. Once in a while, you got to have a non-productive day. I had one the other day.
Yeah.
I pretty much, every time I tried to start something that was work-related, I was like, yeah, I'm not feeling that. I'll just watch another YouTube video and come back to this. But by the end of the day, I was like,
I'm done.
well, I never went back to any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I just watched a bunch of YouTube videos. And
They were all about work related, right?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely work-related.
Yeah.
I definitely did not watch Hot Ones or freaking unsubscribe.
Never.
Stuff. And then it was like 4:30, and I was like, you know what? I've worked way too hard today. I'm just gonna go home early.
Nothing wrong with that.
And luckily, there was football on, so I just went home and watched football.
Perfect.
And I was very well rested afterwards. I definitely recommend it. If you can do that at your job, you should do it at least like once a week.
At least.
Right on.
So, Brad, you're from Wyoming?
Yes, sir.
That's one of the states. I think I went through the corner of it once on a Greyhound bus, but that doesn't count as visiting at all. So, tell us a little bit about it. What's it like? You were born and raised there?
Yes. So it depends on what part of the state you go to. There's definitely some more beautiful parts. We live in the high desert, so it's kind of the devil's butthole.
The devil's butthole.
Yeah.
I like it.
Hot, windy, and nasty.
Pretty descriptive.
It grows on you. I think it's a great place to raise a family. Raised 4 kids there. There's not a lot to do, but if you're into outdoors and that kind of thing, there's not too many people there, which is great. Kind of a hermit, introvert for sure. So it was my kind of state.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you didn't have much choice if you were born there.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about, what are you into there? What kind of stuff? What was it like growing up there?
So basically it's just hunting and fishing. Those are the 2 biggest things. About the only thing to do, honestly.
Perfect.
It's cold. There's about 9 months out of the year where you have snow and wind. So that's the hard part. Not much summer. So you don't have a lot of time to warm up. So coming out here is really a relief, and it's nice. I like the 70-degree weather.
Oh, it sounds like my kind of place. I don't like the sun at all.
Yeah.
So the colder, the better.
Yep. Shorter seasons. Be nice.
Yeah.
It's
Seems
definitely
Oregon
cold.
gets hotter, longer every
Yeah.
year.
Lately, the older I get anyways, it just seems like it's hotter longer.
Yeah. I don't
It's
do
crazy. Crazy.
But that's cool. So what kind of hunting, what is there, what are you guys hunting over there? I've heard a lot of good hunting stories from Wyoming, so.
Yeah, definitely. Mostly either deer, which we got a large herd of mule deer. Unfortunately, the winter before last really took a toll, and it took out probably 70-80% of the herd.
Oh,
Holy
wow.
shit.
Yeah, it was intense and it was brutal. Hopefully they'll make a comeback. I know they're limiting some of the licenses this year and probably coming up to help rebuild it. They got pronghorn, elk, moose, any North American thing you could think of.
How big are the moose over there?
A moose, not near as big as the Alaska moose, but any moose is big.
Because we get a few moose in like northeastern corner of Oregon from coming over from Idaho or whatever. But they are the mangiest looking little moose.
Little guys.
Ever.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're not even as big as the elk, but
Really?
yeah.
Yeah, there's some good size, at least in the Pinedale area, it's about an hour and a half north of us. There's a good little area there. It's right out of the Wind Rivers. Basically sits between the Wyoming Range and the Wind Rivers.
Nice.
So,
Speaking of Wind Rivers, best movie ever, dude. That was amazing. Yeah.
you like that, huh?
I love that movie. When I watched that movie, my wife had friends over and they were visiting and I was watching that movie in the living room. And I was like, babe, I need this freaking rifle when he's shooting that 45-70.
Yes.
And my wife's like, why? And I was like, because I don't have one. And she's like, whatever. And then later, her friends left. And then later in the movie, when they're having that shootout where he's like shooting people through the
trailer.
trailer, she's like, oh, now I know why you want one of those.
That's a badass weapon.
Yeah, it was awesome. But that was a good movie regardless. Good choice of weapons in it, but it was a good movie either way.
And that's only the actual, I don't know if they actually filmed it there, but the Wind River Reservation is only 2 hours from us.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, it gets cold as shit there from that movie, so.
Wyoming gets cold. It's basically the white ice box of the nation. It's,
nice. Yeah. So what are some of your, what did you hunt as a kid? I mean, you still hunt today or?
I kind of went away from it, actually. It's been a long time since I hunted. Every time I went, I was really an avid hunter from my late teens to early 20s, and then started having children, and people started dying around that time. Had two of my uncles, my grandparents.
The people you hunted with, apparently.
Yeah. And they all died, it seemed like 1 year after another, but right in hunting season, September, October, that year. And had a run of like 7 years where somebody died.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah. And kind of threw a monkey wrench and stuff and really quit hunting at that point. And then my children started getting a little older, and my son, who became quite a good wrestler, we started wrestling at that time, and that there were some big tournaments during hunting season that we'd go down to, and in Denver, which is about 5 hours away. So, just kind of stepped away from it.
Gotcha.
Kind of lost it, and really haven't done it since, so makes it kind of tough. Then I got a taste or a smell of blood here this last couple of days with
Daughter-in-law.
Justice. My
Yeah.
daughter-in-law shot a deer and
Do you
kind
guys
of
cook up
piqued my
any of that yet?
interest. No, not yet.
Oh,
So,
man, I'm surprised.
kind
Yeah, so...
of got my blood again, it seemed like.
Well, since the kids got married, I've been trying to convince you to move over here anyways because we've become pretty good friends. And hopefully that's one more reason.
Yeah. Get you back up in the woods, yes.
Yeah, so that's cool. That's cool. So, what are some of your favorite things or places in Wyoming? What are some of the things that when people come to visit you, what are you like? You got to check this out. You got to check that out.
So I think Yellowstone ought to be on everybody's bucket list. It's the first national park that was established, and there is so much to do in that area. I tell all my friends, family, they definitely need to go see that, visit that, and get off the beaten track. You know, so many people just go to Old Faithful and that's it. Well, and there's other areas, but the falls. But there's so many areas outside of that are so much more exciting. I mean, you can see wolves, grizzly bears, anything you can imagine as far as wildlife goes. That's the place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I know when Sarah and I go explore, we're always all about the off the beaten path.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll be cruising and we'll see a freaking random dirt road and we're like, I wonder
Turn
where that
left.
goes.
Turn left now.
and typically when I first got with Sarah, her rule was that you don't turn back unless you have to. You drive it through.
You figure it out
somewhere
yeah.
else. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot that leads to a lot of very long drives. But now I've gotten her tamed down a little bit.
Google it.
So sometimes we can just go
GPS.
for a regular drive and you know, we'll explore a little, but we'll just turn around when it starts being convenient too. But
heck yeah.
Yeah, so I for sure would be down for that. Plus, you never know when you're going to run into like some random little hole in the wall bar or somewhere.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of that going on. Jackson's right up there, so that's definitely worthwhile. They got the world's greatest or biggest elk arch of antlers up there.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So during the wintertime, they have to feed the elk. I don't know if they have to, but it's
If they have to, those are some stupid fucking elk.
well, it's the winter and it's brutal.
Yeah.
So
They're doing what they have to keep them there.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, please don't leave.
They give them the feed. We have like 11 or 16 feed grounds within probably a 200-mile radius.
Oh, wow.
So some big herds come down outside of Jackson, Afton, Pinedale, that northwestern area. So
I've seen videos online. You guys actually have like
Yeah.
huge herds.
Amazing. Amazing.
Like where you're sitting there watching them cross the road for half an hour
Yeah.
type of thing.
it is amazing, actually. The boys were really little. Badger was, I think, 7, and so Wade was probably 11. We took him out there so they have the horses, and you get out there and you can go out there in the feed grounds, and they take you out on like a little hayride. And some of the wolves are out there. You could see the wolves sitting on the outskirts,
Just waiting.
Yeah.
Right.
looking. But there was just, there's probably 2,500 elk.
That's
Right.
insane.
Right.
It's
I
like
remember when I
a
was
field full of
younger-
cattle. You know, no, those are elk.
Yeah, when I was younger, we used to come across herds, close to 100. And those were, I thought they were massive.
Yeah, it's
But watching those videos and stuff now of these places in Wyoming,
The migratory,
Montana, places
yeah.
that, it's just insane to me. I mean, I I would probably literally be losing my mind when that was happening.
It was awesome. We got to go out there. You know, it was super cold though. It was like 26 below, and you bundle up. And
Of course.
you roll out there and get to watch them. And there was a bald eagle out there eating. It was just awesome.
That's cool. That's cool.
Wildlife. Nothing better.
So, sounds like you spent most of your childhood in the outdoors then.
Yeah, snowmobiling. Not so much. A little bit of snowmobiling. Just playing in the snow mostly.
Yeah.
And, running around, cowboys and Indians, and
Yeah.
building
Dude, that's
forts out
not
in the
racially,
sagebrush.
that's not politically correct nowadays.
Oh,
You can't play cowboys
My
and
bad.
Indians. It's cowboys and commanders.
Commanders.
Yeah. Oh shoot. So what kind of do you have any cool stories when you were a kid? Oh, actually your wife told me I'm supposed to ask you about your moose hunt when you were a kid.
oh, good
Where
Lord.
your grandpa and everybody lost you or something in the woods.
Well, snow and hunting go hand in hand. But I was young. I was between 5 and 7 ish.
That is young.
Yeah, and
I'm not taking a 5 or 7 year old freaking hunting with me.
well, it was my grandfather and my dad, and we're in the pickup, and my dad shot this. I think it was a deer. I think it was a mule deer. Is what we were hunting. Anyways, it was up on the mountain, and it was a pretty good shot. 400 yard, and I could see him. And the sun was going down, and I'm starting to freak out, and they leave me in the truck, and I'm watching them. And the sun's starting to go down, and I start hearing the noises.
Yeah.
In the woods.
The
Shit's getting scary.
The wolves were coming for you.
The kid's mind is running wild.
It's going crazy. And I thought, oh, God, I'm going to die. Something's going to eat me. I got to get up there and help him out.
Yeah, that was the brilliant idea.
Yep. So out of the truck I charge, and up the hill I go, and somehow they miss me.
You
They
walk
come
right
back-
by each other.
Yep.
Oh no.
So I get up to where I think they were at, and I could see them. They were loading the deer into the truck.
Shit.
And they start to fire up the truck, and I'm screaming, freaking out.
Don't leave me.
Oh, yeah. And the snow drifts are shit. I'm bucking 4 foot snow drifts, and I'm only 4 foot
3
high.
foot, yeah.
So I'm running down, doing cartwheels off the mountain. I think I'm going to die. I think I'm going to freeze to death. And
Damn.
they're calling for me, and I don't know. It was just hectic, chaotic, and I thought I was,
That was the end of you.
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna freeze to death.
No.
Yeah. So then I get back there, and my dad was he was a hard ass.
A little irritated, was he?
He was a little heavy handed. So not only do I think I'm gonna die out there and
Yep.
freeze to death,
Then you got your ass.
I got my ass whooped.
Don't you ever. Yeah.
So a couple hard lessons in one right there.
You scared the shit out of him.
Yeah.
dude.
Turned
Yeah.
He's
into.
like, my wife's gonna fucking kill me.
Yeah.
This little bastard doesn't come back here.
So I was a little hard headed, kind of like my granddaughter Lyra.
Nice.
Told to do one thing, I'd do the opposite. God bless her.
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome, though. Those kind of memories, though, you never forget. They're like ingrained in you.
Yeah, that was a hard one, and I was young, and I almost could detail step by step up it.
A lot of people don't remember stuff when they're that young.
Yeah,
So,
but I bet you never did it again.
Yeah, it was quite traumatic. It was- then the ass beating afterwards
Yeah.
was just as bad.
Added to it.
What were you like in school, dude? Were you an athlete?
Yeah, I dabbled a little bit. My passion was football, but I was all state in football. I was a fullback and linebacker. We actually had a really good team. We were actually inducted into the Hall of Fame here a couple of years back
Oh wow!
in Colorado. Yeah,
Nice.
but overall, and our basketball team this year is getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. I went to Fruita Monument, which is in Colorado. So
So you
So
live
I
on
wasn't-
the border of Colorado and Wyoming, or what?
well,
Or
I
did you live in Colorado when you were growing up?
partially.
Oh, okay.
So I did. My parents got divorced. So I left and went with my dad when I was in 7th grade. So I 7th through my senior year, I was in Colorado. So my brother stayed with my mom, and they lived in Wyoming. So basically, my adulthood, and I was in Colorado. That's where I went to college and junior high and high school.
Nice.
Yeah. So I did wrestling, football. Football I was definitely better at, but I enjoyed wrestling. I think it was the greatest sport, going. Just teaches you so much, discipline. If you can finish wrestling, you can finish anything.
Yeah.
I tried to do both. I tried to do football and wrestling. Figured out real quick that I was horrible at both of them, and so I chose to do nothing. So after that, but yeah,
Well, I tried track, but track
dude,
was
running is horrible.
Yeah.
definitely not my forte.
That's the worst.
People that run are just they're weird, dude. There's something wrong with those people.
They're good
Definitely a
escape
different
artists.
breed.
That's cool. So, grew up a little bit Wyoming, grew up a little bit Colorado. You ended up joining the military, though, right?
I did.
So, what'd you join? How long were you in? What'd you do?
Fresh out of high school, I joined the United States Army.
Some recruiter was like, "Hey,
Yeah, he lied to
you
me.
should freaking
No.
come talk to me. I'll
They
buy you
don't-
some
Yeah,
coffee."
he told me the truth.
Yeah.
Basic training is going to be easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. But I wouldn't change it for anything. I definitely, was raised God, family, country, and respect both, and do battle for both if need be.
Yeah, you come from a legacy family too.
Yeah, my
Your
dad was.
grandpa, dad, you, and your son all military, right?
Yes, sir.
I think that's fucking awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we all served,
That's great.
did something. So
Yeah. So you joined the Army. What was your MOS? What was your job? What did you do?
So I joined. I was a military police, and then my first duty station, I was stationed in New York, and they gave me the opportunity to either get promoted or go to dog school. So I chose dog school, and I went to Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio prior to going to Germany. So picked up a dog in Germany. So I was at a remote nuke site there in Germany. Did physical security for that. I was there for a little over a year and a half, and got out, went to college. The rest is history.
Yeah.
So how long were you in the military total?
I did a total of 4 years. So when I got out, so I did my tour, then I ETS'd, and then I went to ROTC when I went to college, and I did basically 6 months there. So the total military time was like 4 years.
Nice. And so what happened? You went to dog school, and you're still military police. So does that dog stay with you, or?
No, unfortunately,
that would suck. I mean, most people get pretty bonded with their freaking animal.
Oh, yeah, it's heartbreaking. Depending on where you're at. But so I was at a nukes, like a remote site.
Yeah.
They pull you off your dog like 3 months prior to you leaving. So they get used to another handler coming in.
Wow. And basically, you used to the fact that you're not taking this fucking dog with you.
Yeah, it blows, man. You put your heart and soul.
All that time and effort, yeah.
How was Germany?
Germany was amazing.
You said it ruined you, though, for the rest of your life on beer.
Yeah, they got some amazing, really good beer over there. My first, as a newbie, my first experience with the higher than normal content of alcohol in beer.
I don't think that's a thing anymore. Microbrews have ruined that.
That's come a long way, that's for sure. But they had a double bock, and it was like 12.5% alcohol. It was my first experience, right? Just getting over in country and used to like 3%, 5% alcohol here in the States, and you drink a 6-pack and you're fine. Well, you drink a 6-pack of 12.5%, you're fucked up.
You're done.
And I went to this club the first time, right off post. I found myself pounding these beers, and they said, "Hey, you better take it easy." What are you talking about?
I'm an expert.
I'm a grown-ass man.
I'm grown. Here we go.
Oh, man.
Started pounding them. And next thing you know, they had these old school pinball machines. And I got wedged in between two of them. I don't know. I just took a nosedive in there.
What are you doing in there? I don't know.
So my buddies pulled me out, pulled me into the old taxi.
Nice.
Well, they had a van that would transport us back and forth.
Because they knew you guys wouldn't be sober enough.
No shit.
Indeed, yeah. And then they drop us off at the gate. There you go.
You got took out by a couple pinball machines.
It was rough.
The pinball wizard.
That's awesome.
Indeed.
Oh my gosh. Oh. So what else did you? You said it was amazing. You loved it.
Yeah.
What were some of the other cool shit about Germany?
Oh man, everything. Well, depending on the personnel, the people, some of the older generation really loved us, and it depended on who, and it was the time too. I mean, it was during the Cold War, basically. They're doing battle of the Berlin Walls, getting ready to come down. The older generation from World War II just loved us, loved Americans, and some of the newer generations couldn't stand us, didn't want us in country. So there was a huge dichotomy there.
One of these days, you'll be in town when my sister-in-law's here. She left. She went to Germany to help her cousin with like daycare and stuff, basically. And her cousin's husband was stationed there in Germany, and she lived there for like 5 or 6 years and worked. She helped take care of the kids, but she worked on base as a bartender.
Oh.
And basically, she just worked and saved her money. And about every 2 months, her and all her little friends that she made in Germany would go travel all over Europe. They would bounce all over Europe, and they'd go spend a week here or spend a week there or whatever, because it was so cheap to travel and do things over there. But she tells me a million stories about Germany too. She loves it. She loved it. So.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah. And the mark rate when I was there was great. It was at a high point. It was, it was like 340 something. You get 3.4 marks per dollar.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, you could buy, depending on where you went, but you could go to a little shop. Just for instance, I bought a pair of vocal skis at the time, and I got them for basically $40, and they were over $400 skis.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
So yeah, it was amazing. They get on the train, you can go anywhere. They had Volks marches. You go on this little 5K march, and you go through the woods and get little plates and all kinds of stuff. Their forests were immaculate. They were clean. The animals were well taken care of. And like the older generation just seemed were a lot more friendly to Americans. So, yeah, it was a really good time. Good food.
That's awesome. I'm going to pause 1 second. Everybody's like, dude, just
fuck?
stand up.
I don't even know if they were looking at me. I just was in there, man. Just fucking pile drive, man.
That's awesome.
And I drank like maybe I pounded those fucking beers, dude. Like 7 of them, right? It's like drinking 7 fucking bottles of wine.
Yeah. Say
Dude.
nothing, and then you stand up.
Yeah, well, I was a train wreck. I was fucked up.
Right on. All right. Well, we're back. Sorry for the early pause, but I didn't go pee before we started, so I mean,
Yeah.
my guests are used to me stopping about an hour in, but
not today.
not today. Yeah, exactly. So Brad, you were saying when we were paused, you were saying that you weren't expecting to start talking about stuff from a million years ago that your kids hadn't even heard about. So that's freaking awesome. That's what this is all about.
Yep.
I told you recently I just had my dad on, and the whole reason I had him on, I don't even care if it's a popular episode. The whole reason I had it on was completely selfish, was just so that I have my dad telling stories on tape, so that, you know, when he's gone, I can, if I'm missing my dad, I can listen to an old episode, and it's going to be awesome. And it's the same for you, dude. Your kids and grandkids are going to love it.
Yeah, I think that's really a noble cause, to be honest.
Yeah.
Great, because I'd do anything actually to listen to or hear some of my dad's
Oh,
stuff.
definitely.
Yeah.
Brilliant idea.
Wasn't afforded that opportunity. So.
Well, it's one of the cool things about technology.
No,
You know, we didn't have that when we were kids. Were you going to read an old pager message from your freaking old man?
Yeah.
You know? It's a,
Yeah, no doubt.
911. You forgot to feed the dogs, fucker. You know?
What the hell are you doing now?
Yeah. You were supposed to be home at 5.
What?
Oh, man. So, obviously, you went in the military, spent some time in the military as an MP, so that obvious transition as you get out and you become law enforcement, huh?
Yeah, definitely helped quite a bit.
Did you go right into it, or what'd you do?
Actually, no, I didn't right away. I actually went to college, got my degree. That was the first step. Then got married, started having children. My wife was working for Pizza Hut at the time. She was managing, and we were living in Moab at the time. So that was a different animal.
Utah?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that was a...
So you, obviously, you're a huge fan of scenery.
The desert.
You
The
go
desert
from one
scenery.
desert to another desert to another desert.
That's, yeah, for sure. Looking at it that way. But I'll tell you, Moab, if you've never been there, that should be on your bucket list. That was, They have all kinds of red rock, crazy trails, 4-wheeling. That's a mecca for 4-wheeling, and mountain bikers are taking over now.
Wow.
But yeah, it's crazy. Jeep Safari. That was
Nice.
during that was like Easter week. My wife would just be crazy doing business there.
I've got a bunch of friends here in Roseburg that they go over to Moab every year for some kind of Jeep ride.
Just for the 4-wheel drive stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy. You want to break stuff, that's the place to go.
Sounds like it, yeah. And then I've got an older buddy, and he goes over. I don't know if it's in Moab. It's right there by Moab, but he goes on like a week-long side-by-side adventure with a bunch of other couples. Where they drive all day in their side-by-sides, but every night they're in a different like hotel or lodge or whatever, and they have big fancy dinners and stuff.
Oh,
but he does that every year, and he was telling me about it. It sounds pretty cool.
That'd be crazy, yeah. Had the opportunity. We, as a police officer, we started a program. It's called Camp Light. It was an interaction between the police and like 5th, 6th graders, kind of an offshoot of DARE, but we would took them camping, and we'd introduce them to some cooking skills, survival skills. Then we'd go whitewater rafting.
Oh, wow.
Then we'd take them to the hot springs in Thermopolis. And we did this basically either a 3-day or a 5-day adventure. And we'd take anywhere from 10 to 16 kids.
Wow.
I didn't get to do nothing that cool in 6th grade, did you?
No.
That's lame, dude.
I'm
jealous.
It was badass. Honestly.
We went to the beach.
Yeah. I went played in tide pools. Almost got stuck on a rock out in the ocean when the tide started coming.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Bucked hay.
Huh?
Doing hay.
Oh.
Bucking hay.
Yeah, bucking hay, yeah. Yeah, we didn't get to do nothing cool like that. That's cool, though. So, you go to school. You marry some floozy.
Oh, shit.
Steph, disregard that, baby.
No, so how'd that go? I mean, so you didn't go right from the military into the law enforcement. You went to school. Were you going to school for law enforcement, or?
Yeah. And then, so I started testing, but back then in the day, man, it was shit. There were 3,500 applicants sometimes for, a few spots.
Right.
It just seemed like it was really hard to get on unless you knew somebody. I tested for the FBI. Failed that one miserably, apparently.
I heard it was all because of psychological condition.
Yeah, you had a personality.
Yeah, so we won't go there.
Yeah.
I also heard that somewhere in this whole equation there was a prostitute.
I don't know anything about that.
You were just one of those people that told the truth when they freaking asked you the questions. So.
Yeah, I figured that's the thing to do, right?
So, for all those people out there that don't have common sense,
deny.
The military or law enforcement or any of these things that do some kind of a psychological evaluation, use common sense. You know the answers they want. All you have to do is give it to them. Just lie.
It's just going to be a red flag.
Smoked pot one time when you were in 6th grade.
It worked for the president.
Don't tell them about it.
I didn't inhale.
That's the stupidest shit ever. It's not that hard. God, you bought a fucking stolen car stereo from your fucking cousin. Don't tell people about it.
Nope.
It's that simple. Anyways, sorry for my little rant.
That's all right. Cool. That's understandable. I was using my integrity, and I guess that doesn't get you too far sometimes.
Dude, you can't tell the truth. Nobody wants to hear the truth. Just like when somebody says, "How's your day?" The answer is fine.
Yeah, good.
Nobody wants to hear about how you got fucking bunions. Come on.
Got that ingrown toenail. It
Yeah.
hurts like
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get any sleep last night. My wife chewed my ass. Nobody cares. The answer was fine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, obviously you did good, though. You ended up being in law enforcement.
Yeah.
And from what I hear, you were in law enforcement for 20 plus years.
Yeah. I did between the military and civilian life. Was over 20 years. Career of fighting with the bad guys, I guess. But, I had a great time. It afforded me the opportunity to raise a family. Decent, well, I won't say decent pay. Pay was a livable wage.
It got you by.
Yeah. And
If you would have been a dirty cop, you would have made plenty of money.
Yeah, there's that whole
Once again,
integrity and
integrity. It's really overrated.
oh no.
yeah, so that's where we went. Raised a family, and I think I tried to raise my kids in one, to use their integrity, be good people, treat others with kindness and respect unless given a reason not to.
Well, I think you did a pretty good job.
Yeah, the two that I've met, you have definitely.
I mean, I know Savoy, my son-in-law. He's almost overly, especially with like prideful things. Like, obviously, they've had some struggles while he's going through the academy and becoming a firefighter and stuff. And I mean, he does not like to ask for help at all, and, that's tough. That makes things even tougher. And then there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. Well, I probably am a little bit to blame for that. So if you can't do it, and I got to take some blame for that, for sure.
Well, yeah, they learn from somewhere.
I really have a difficult time asking for help, and I know that I should.
Yeah.
But
so, were you just a regular cop or state police, county? What did you do? And where were you at?
So I was in the city. I was a city officer, Rock Springs.
In Wyoming.
In Wyoming.
So you went back home.
Yep. Went
Right
back
on.
home. Actually, we left Moab. Actually, we could not make it on. Well, it's kind of a long story, but we got pregnant again. There was no way we could afford daycare and my wife's wages and what I was making at the time. So I packed up, went to Wyoming, got a job working in construction, and then moved my wife and family back up there once we got settled. Worked for construction for 3 to 4 years ish, and then I got on with the PD.
You were like, hey, I've been going to school and I was already a cop. I mean,
yeah. So, and the only way I could really afford it was, and I found the place. It was Rock Springs. They actually paid me to go to the academy. So I got to go to the academy, got paid, and then there we go.
right on.
And got on. Yeah, it was a good thing.
So 20 years worth of law enforcement and military experience. You got to have some good stories.
I got some pretty good ones for sure.
Yeah. So give us a couple of good stories, man. Tell us about it.
Well, one of my most memorable things as far as the military goes is I made the rifle team in Germany. So we had basically there was 4 of us as a little firing team, but they had a rifle competition. So out of the whole brigade or whatever, there was 4 of us shooting M16s. Got to fire anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 rounds on the weekend, and then we got to participate in shoot-offs and rifle competitions, stuff like that. So that was kind of exciting.
Right on.
And one of the more, there was actually I don't know if I could. I don't know if I should go there, but
Statute of limitations. You're good, dude. Nobody's gonna remember you.
Oh, no.
well, it was a Persian missile site, so it's no longer there. But we got to set up a temporary kennels there.
Oh, this is when you were doing the dog.
Yeah.
Dog. Okay.
Yeah. So it was a location between Heidelberg and Stuttgart. So that was way cool. So I got an Archon for that, which is during peacetime. It's kind of a big deal.
What is it exactly?
It's a Army Accommodation Medal.
Oh, right on. Right on.
So I got 2 of those for that particular instance. We set up temporary kennels, got everything squared away. There was a lot of protests, riots, and stuff at that time.
So you guys were there for, like, to suppress that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was one of the highlights of that.
That's
for
cool.
me. Yeah. Then, so come back, go to college, get my degree, struggle, construction, and then go to work for the police department. And there was, so many things.
Did you end up doing canine stuff with the police department?
I didn't. And the biggest reason is I had my family, and in my mind, my family is more important. And dog work just takes so much time if you really want to be good and efficient. You want your dog at 100%. I didn't want to split the time, so I kind of focused on my family. And I didn't think it would be fair to the canine dog if I had to do that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So
That's thinking ahead.
As much as I loved it and it was part of me, just have a different priority.
So what was it like being a cop there in Rock Springs?
So it was pretty hairy at the time. Definitely we have an influx, and it's a little city, but it never stops. So
You said it's similar in size to Roseburg without all the surrounding areas.
Exactly, yeah, 24,000-ish. But it's always hopping. It's driven by natural gas mines. We've got a lot of money, and we have a lot of kids that don't have supervision because the parents are working all the time. Drugs, alcohol, it's just crazy. And then you have the miners come in. It's 24/7, the town, basically. And there's bars. There's more bars than there's grocery stores.
So you said that Wind River Reservation is real close to you. So does that mean that Rock Springs is really surrounded by a lot of tribal stuff?
That's all pretty... No.
So it's a little ways away.
Yeah, it's like 2.5 hours.
Okay.
So that's the closest one I can think of. But they come over, honestly, Wyoming's not that, there is not that big a city anywhere except for,
Well, Wyoming's one of the least populated states, so.
Yeah, we may be looking at 500,000.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people there, so. So what are some of the coolest things you had to deal with as a cop?
So, good and bad, but that's probably one
tell
of...
us both. Tell us a couple good stories and a couple bad stories.
So it's probably one of the reasons that they have a policy of no pursuit now. I was probably mid career.
So you were in your 50s?
Jesus. A little bit younger.
Nah, way younger. I was just fucking with you.
Anyways, yeah. So you have a briefing every morning, right? And we get this briefing. We sit down, and there was a robbery the night before. Be on the lookout for the suspect. Cargoes. I can't even remember what it was, but armed and dangerous. So there was a little safe. There was a gun and money, and there was something else. I can't remember what it was. So I'm on patrol, going up by the high school. Whoop. Felony stop. I get this car. It's in. I call it in. Sure as shit, it's the car. Pull him over. Do a great felony stop. 3 cars are up. Get him to step out of the vehicle. And one of the patrolmen that was with me knew the guy. And he sees him and he's like, "Fuck you, copper."
You can't catch me.
Jumps in his car and we're off to the races, man.
God.
Going through towns, busting through stoplights, stop signs.
Danger.
And, yeah. Call goes out. Call the chief. Get it, no matter what. So here we go. We're all through town. He busts out on the interstate and then he heads east. So it's one of the longer pursuits that I'm aware of. We end up finally at the 205. So it's over 100 miles long.
Holy shit.
Damn.
So we have...
You're like, dude, this is getting boring.
I'm about to run out of gas.
Speaking of, we had a highway patrol joined the pursuit. And he was running low on fuel. And there was a place between Rock Springs and Rawlins. So we're like 4 miles where it ends, where we're like 4 miles away from Rawlins. But he pulls over at Patrick Draw, refuels, and gets back in the race, man.
Pit stop.
It was insane. And actually, he was an officer.
You got to give that guy a hard time, dude. You'll be like, what the fuck, dude? Why'd you even come?
But it was amazing, man. That was awesome. He gets in there, and there was every swing and dick you could imagine, man.
I bet.
Everything. There was probably 50 cars involved.
Cannonball Run.
By the end, yeah.
That's awesome.
They're rolling down the interstate, man. And at times, everybody probably speeds at 110. And it was intense, man.
Did you guys end up getting the guy?
Yeah, actually, he got spiked at Wamsutter, which is at least, it's like 70 miles from Rock Springs. And he rolls on his rims. He's rolling down the interstate. And we go around this hill and it's going up an incline. And for some reason, he just kind of does like a little 120 there. And he's yelling. And the dude I was with, man, he was, I can't say his name, but he pulls out and he goes, "I think I got a rapport with him." And, there's some chiefs out. There's brass, all kinds of anything you could imagine, state patrol. I mean, we got sheriffs from 3 different counties in this involved. And he goes, "I think I can get him out." So he gets on the bullhorn and starts to yell at him. And he's like, "Fuck you."
You're like, I guess you were wrong.
Yeah.
So all these, it's just, you just tell, man, his face just drains of everything. And then it's just like an attack. It's a pile and they yank him out of the car. And
Jesus.
The pepper spray is going everywhere.
Taser.
Oh my God, dude. That's
excitement.
Like fun, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though. If you're in a fucking pursuit and you're the guy running, if you can see the cops,
you're dumb.
If you can't lose them, eventually you're getting fucking caught. Just pull over.
You can't outrun the radio.
Dude, it was incredible. It was insane, man. It's like a movie. No shit.
I bet.
I thought I turned that off.
We got shit.
That's crazy, dude.
The wind's blowing 90 miles an hour. We're in between, we're off the interstate. And You can see $100 bills flying out the window.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he's
getting rid of the evidence.
he's tossing shit.
$100 bills out the window.
This will make him stop.
You just see a
Gosh.
couple officers pull over.
Yeah.
It was, so right after that, no pursuit policy comes out. So, yeah, I had some good times. I was probably involved in 4 really good high speed pursuits.
So, tell me one of the good stories, dude.
What I was telling you about the Camp Light.
That's cool.
That is probably the most amazing. Just the interaction that we got to do with the children.
Well, that sounds like fun for both, for the kids and for you.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And the most amazing part,
I'm getting paid to go rafting and freaking camp with these freaking kids.
and we were usually, they do programs like that for the kids that are not able to afford it and stuff.
Yeah.
And some of the good kids, they're not afforded that opportunity
Because they got money.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we tried to make it for that
Yeah.
genre or that piece. So
that's one of the things that I've noticed. A lot of the stuff that because we give a lot to the community, and there's a lot of stuff that's focused towards people that don't have the money to do things. The whole program's developed around people that can't afford this or can't afford that. And, but there's a lot of kids that their families could afford to do it.
They just don't have the time.
Still don't do it.
They don't make the time,
that
basically.
doesn't mean that those kids should miss out on that stuff.
Right.
There's a lot of that stuff. And I've noticed that. It's weird. It's, and a lot of those families, like for us, we're we're a gun store basically. So, a lot of families, they're just because they're not into something means that their kids never get to experience any of it. Whereas, these lower income families or whatever, they're afforded all these opportunities because there's all these nonprofit organizations trying to create stuff for them. But the families that have money to pay for it, those kids don't get to experience any of it just because their parents weren't into it. So I think there should be more stuff that's just open to everybody. If you maybe make it so that it's open to everybody, and if they hit a certain financial whatever, they should have to pay a little bit.
Yeah.
But either way, it should be open to them.
And that's kind of how we geared it. One of the prerequisites they had to do like a community project or something with their teachers. So
almost like the Boy Scouts.
Kind of, but they had to do something good, and, but it was great. So that was probably one of the better things, and it's great when you offer a kid that opportunity and 10 years down the road, they come up to you and say, "Hey,
thank you." That would be cool.
And you remember when you took me rappelling? He goes, I never would have done that, but thanks to you, I'm doing this now, and I've done this in my life.
You gave me the confidence.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's so rewarding.
That's a life changer. And, that's part of the reason why I did that. And
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. Right on. So, between the military and law enforcement, obviously you carry a gun, you use guns. So, would you count yourself as a gun guy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I about got divorced over a gun.
Oh, yeah. What gun was that?
That happens.
Well, actually, it's only been fired like twice.
Yeah, that's any good gun. It's too nice to shoot.
It's a Ruger 338. At the time, I was going to go hunting. My wife was sick. We were about ready to have a baby. Couldn't afford it. My dumb ass went and bought it anyways. We got some income tax back.
So was this like an M77 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell my wife right away. Mistake number one.
Yeah, they always.
Then she found out.
They always find out.
Bad either way, dude. You didn't make a mistake. You
Oh,
just
man.
made a good effort.
What are you talking about? That was
Yeah.
given to me.
So when she did find out, it was on.
End of the world. End of the
Yeah,
world.
you should have told her the best lie is that you bought it like 2 years ago and it finally arrived.
Yeah, it's been on
I
back
actually
order.
paid for that like 2 years ago.
Don't you remember?
Yeah. Oh man, you can't be honest, dude, especially with your wife.
Oh, you know me.
Kind of have to sometimes, Carlos.
Huh?
Kind of have to.
No.
Pick and choose the battles, right?
I think she lies to me as much as I lie to her.
That's another way to look at it.
Yeah, I got a fucking dog that I would love to that apparently I paid like $2,000 for. I didn't even know.
That dog was free. What are you talking about?
I told her she had a $300 budget.
That was a free dog. What do you mean?
Yeah, but yeah. So it goes both ways, Brad. It goes.
Anyway, yeah, I do like guns. I just got some. I don't have like a huge collection, but I got some workable ones.
I know when Justice and Savoy first moved here, you had given him a rifle from, was it your grandfather?
Yes. Yep.
And you had asked me if I could help you out getting a better optic for it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And we got it all taken care of. And I thought that was cool. So, I mean, obviously you've got a love for some firearms.
Yeah, I got a few. I got that was a 30-06. It was my grandfather's. So, and I would like to pass that on. I actually have a couple that I'm going to give to my kids and grandkids. A 30-06, a 30-30. I actually have a couple 308s. Then I have like 6 different pistols. I like the 45, just like the 1911.
Mm-hmm.
I love Sig. I think Sig is one of the better pistols that I've ever shot.
What'd you carry when you were in law enforcement?
1911.
Yeah.
Well, that was the military. As a civilian, I carried a Sig 40.
Yeah. So you were after the whole revolver 38 thing.
Oh yeah.
But you were still stuck in the 40 caliber era.
I'm not a big 40 cal. I mean, I carried it, but I'm not a huge fan of that.
Well, I don't think anybody was, but that was what the law enforcement all over the world
that was their
decided
pick.
That was what was going to happen.
Sure.
And then nowadays they realize
Right back
that
to the 9.
it's really no different than a 9mm, except for it has more recoil, so it's harder to shoot.
Yeah, if you're not able to handle that recoil and get on target with that second round, it's really no use.
I think if you're a cop and you can't hit with the first round, you're pretty much no use. So.
That's fact.
Which
first
pretty
one
much
counts,
describes 99% of cops.
Should it be all shotguns, right? And
I don't know, dude.
how do you miss?
I deal with a lot of cops. Like probably a good chunk of my customers are cops.
Yeah.
And talking with them and talking with
some of the stories,
the instructors who are also my customers, you should learn how to shoot on your own, because the chances of a cop helping you out are not much better than you just shooting them yourself. I mean, they're just regular people.
Lead slingers.
True.
Yeah. So I mean,
some of the
you don't want
things
to rely on someone else. If you're in danger, defend yourself. Don't wait for a cop.
Yeah, well, if you're in a high stress situation, if you haven't fired, the sphincter factor is going to play a part. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's probably with anyone.
I'll tell you what. I own a gun store, and I will be the first to admit I can't shoot a handgun for shit. I mean, I can shoot them just fine, but I'm not going to hit anything. I'm just gonna like spray
They're
everything.
they're just
until I get to my
noisemakers.
rifle.
Yeah.
If I get to my rifle, you're fucked. But before I get there, you got a good chance.
Yeah, you got to practice. You could, get that heart rate down and
Yeah.
it's,
Just like a second nature.
I run a business. I don't have time to practice. Dude.
that front sight's important.
I'm a spray and pray guy. But at least with a rifle, I've got some natural ability, so I've got a better chance there. So
yeah, that front sight's important. So
It's like,
but yeah, I'm not a huge. I mean, I've fired 1911s, but I'm not a huge expert with them. I really haven't got that much experience with them. But I will say that when I have fired a 1911, I'm a better shot with one
well, definitely.
than I am with regular, and I think it's just because of the weight.
The weight, yeah.
yeah,
And the 45, yes, it has recoil, but it's more of like a push than it is like a snap.
yeah, it's
So
more
it doesn't
manageable.
take you off a target as much as like a 9mm does.
Well, and that's the way I look at it. It's slow, steady, and it's gonna slow and steady wins the race. That first round's the one that counts. And if you're locked and loaded, you come up, finger squeeze, front sight, and you put it where it's supposed to be. You don't have anything to worry about.
Yeah, that's cool though. So one thing I have noticed since you and I met, you're a huge family guy. Like family's like number one for you.
Yes, sir.
You're a husband and a father. You got what, 4 kids?
Yep.
4 kids. You got like 5 grandkids now.
Yes.
You make me envious because you are way more active with them than I can handle. Like you're running around and crawling on the floor and doing that kind of stuff, which I think is awesome. It sounds like you've done some help coaching, obviously with the boys, with football and softball, but also it sounds like you've been pretty active with some of your older grandkids with softball and volleyball and that stuff. So what's all that? I mean, how's that all playing out? What's that all mean to you?
Oh man, honestly, that's pretty hard to put in words.
You don't have to start crying or nothing. I know you're way more emotional than I am with stuff, but I think it's freaking admirable how awesome you are with the kids. So,
I wasn't afforded that opportunity, so I want to make it as much as important a role model to show them how it can be.
Goes back
versus,
to better than what you had.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
When you're, man, when you're not afforded that opportunity, it's really rough.
yeah.
So, I love my kids, and I would give them, if I have it, they have it, and more.
I think that's everybody's,
Aspirations.
I think that's the goal, the aspiration of everybody. I mean, the whole point of having kids is that they don't have to go through life like you do.
Yeah.
Your whole point is to make it better for them.
And then
Well,
following through with it. And that there's,
Yeah.
a lot of people I know, unfortunately, say that, but then they don't follow through with it. And it,
Yeah.
I see it, and it's pretty darn cool.
Mike and I have been friends for a long time, and it's funny because sometimes we'll be like talking about our kids, and we're like, "Oh, they did this or they did that," and we're talking to each other like we're maybe disappointed a little bit, but then the other one of us is like, "Well,
Oh, your kids are awesome, dude.
they're doing pretty good, dude." Because if that was us
Yeah.
at this age,
Think of what would happen with us.
we'd be,
Yeah.
doing this, or we would have been wasted.
No, that's
or we'd be in jail or whatever. And so it's good because we remind each other about how much we are actually succeeding in the goal.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, so I want to live that. I don't want to say it. I want to live it.
Yeah.
So if I can give them that opportunity and if I can be a part of it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And if it means bruised knees and
Sure.
I'm going to get down there and I'm going to bruise my knees for my grandbabies.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
And if I have money, they're going to have money and they're going to have more than I did.
Yeah.
So
I think that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
that's,
You inspire me to do better.
Well, definitely.
Especially since your grandkids are my grandkids.
That's the way,
So-
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's freaking awesome. So Savoy has told me a little bit of stories about you helping out with wrestling and football and everything else. It sounds like he had like a freaking entourage everywhere. So tell me a little bit about that. I mean, how was it raising the boys? And
my wife is amazing. And she helped out so much. I mean, you can't do anything without that.
yeah, Steph is pretty
you're-
freaking cool. So
You're a co-captain, I would like to say. Sometimes I just, showed up and because she did all the hard work. But we tried to make, we had 3 kids. Our oldest was pretty much gone. So, he didn't play as much into the raising. I mean, we had 3 in high school at the same time. So that was it was pretty difficult. And we kind of sports oriented, on the go. Savoy, his main focus was wrestling. Badger was more football. But he did try wrestling at one point. That wasn't his forte. My daughter was a dancer. And she danced since she was 2 or 3, and she actually went on to dance at the collegiate level. So we always were on the go and
Supporting the kids' goals. Yeah, yeah.
So, and if there was somebody that needed a ride, friends, whatever, pile in, here we go. Off to the races we went.
that's cool.
So, Savoy had, probably 3 really good friends that traveled with us a lot. And
Sound like you guys did a lot of traveling.
yeah, we put some mileage. We had we had 2 expeditions, but we put them both through the ringers in a van. Crap. Yeah, it was nonstop. I'd like to say, it was really nice. Kind of hard on the boys at times, but not as hard as, you raise your children, to the best of your ability with whatever you were taught.
Sure.
So you may have been taught something, totally different. But like my father was heavy-handed and he was a man's man. And from him, I learned certain things that I was not going to do to my children.
Yeah.
Come hell or high water.
Yeah,
So,
I think that's what every parent says. Every kid says,
Well-
I'm never going to be like my parents.
and well, he gave me that opportunity though.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
I learned right. And God bless. If it wasn't for him, I would have not known what not to do.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, you
Good,
learn-
better, indifferent.
You learn from your parents.
That's the
You know, you
first-hand
learn
experience.
The good and bad you learn from your parents. You
For sure.
learn- this is the good lessons that, yes, I'm totally going to teach my kids this and whatnot. You also learn the stuff that
I'm going to do different.
never doing this to my parents,
Yep.
to my kids.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I'm sure I've done the same, and you've probably done the same, even though, the whole goal was not to do that. But there's stuff that we did that our kids hated, I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
Well, that's
crap.
part of growing up.
But you've also had the opportunity to do some of that with your grandkids. So I know you got the grandkids that we share are too small to be doing anything.
Yeah, they're just starting
They haven't
out.
done sports yet. I cannot wait because I freaking love kids sports. But like you've got grandkids that run softball and volleyball and I think football.
Yeah, well, they're mainly into they do both softball mainly, and then my grandson is basically, he likes soccer and football. So
Gotcha.
he's kind of I don't know which way he's going to go, but he's in the 8th grade now, so he's got a little time to decide. And he does good in both.
Yeah.
But
Your oldest granddaughter, I'm pretty sure, was in Vegas at the same time I was for a softball tournament, but I had not met her yet.
She's wonderful.
And if I would have known them then, I would have went and tried to watch it, because they have this huge softball tournament during SHOT Show in Vegas.
Oh,
And they were when I met them at the wedding. She had said something that she had been there in Vegas for that softball tournament.
yeah, she's pretty amazing.
And if I would have known that, I would have went and watched. I mean, that would have been awesome.
Wasn't Justice in softball and stuff?
Yeah, well, Justice and Mariah were both. They both did softball. They both did volleyball. And I'm hoping the granddaughters do the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait, because it's just the funnest thing to watch. I mean, I love those little kids playing, and they have so much heart. You to watch them crying when
Watching
they do
them
bad,
learn.
and cheering when they do good. And
well, I hope they get into jiu-jitsu or wrestling, and
Sure.
that's my jam.
yeah, but I don't know. I'm an old school guy.
Knowing their dad,
I'm old school.
I get it.
I don't know
Them
if girls
girls
should
might.
be doing that stuff.
Yes, they
Jiu-jitsu,
should.
yeah, because they should
Yes,
be able
they
to kick their
should.
freaking old man's ass.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
But I
should.
don't know if I want to watch them do actually wrestling. You know,
That's up and coming sport, man. It's
big.
I like it.
I
And
told you I just watched. My TikTok was just filled up with a bunch of women's. Well, this is like WWE.
You look at Ronda Rousey and stuff like that,
and, yeah, but I mean, it was brutal. They were just
Yeah.
like, there was one chick that got folded up and like she never moved again. I think she broke her neck and died. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you've got some older grandkids. I don't have the older grandkids, so I haven't got to experience that. How's that? I mean, is that just as cool as?
oh yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Grandkids in general are awesome. It's so much different than actual kids. You know, shit, you get to spoil them and turn them over.
Send them home.
There you go.
Go home.
So that's kind of a good piece.
I know Sarah loves it when you guys come to town because she gets a break.
But yeah, it's awesome. Grandkids are nothing but a blessing, you know.
I agree. Yeah, they're pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And I can't wait till they get a little older when they're playing some sports and doing that kind of
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
So,
I can't either. It's going to be great.
by then, hopefully, you'll be here, moved here.
Yeah. I'd like to. Yeah, we're going to start looking pretty seriously here
Good.
within a year.
Yeah.
But I got some things to tie up. But
You and I have a lot of similar interests.
Yeah.
I mean, we're both whiskey connoisseurs. We both love cigars.
yes, sir.
So,
You both are so laid back and relaxed too.
well, you know what's funny?
I like it.
When Justice first got with Savoy, she told me that when I first went to visit her, and that was right after she had met you for the first time, apparently, she told me, you got to meet Savoy's dad. He's exactly like you. She goes, he even kind of looks like you. And the funny thing was, she told me, because she tells everybody that when she met Savoy, like from the first time she met him, she felt like she was at home when she met him. And then when she met you, it all made sense because you were so similar to me, which I thought was kind of funny. I thought that was cool. But yeah, we have some similar interests. We're both like whiskey and we both like cigars. What got you into whiskey and cigars?
Well, oh man, this is also kind of a long story, but
That's all right. Nobody cares.
well, I didn't drink. I quit really like imbibing for a little bit. I was drinking a little too much, so I took a little hiatus. And then I retired. And then I got to thinking, got to feeling sorry for myself, laying on the couch, and I'm thinking, well, shit, what can I do? Bourbon sounds good.
Yeah, right.
Well, you're feeling sorry for yourself, obviously.
So thinking to myself, what could be better, So I started venturing out, and I really struggled with some shitty bourbon. Thought, well, damn.
The learning curve.
Yep, exactly. So I thought, well, let me buy a little more expensive one. Got to be a little better. Lo and behold, I found a good one. So, and I started reading a little book and how to taste it and actually enjoy it, and the different flavors, the different nuances of it. So that's kind of the journey that I started. And I was late 40s, early 50s, where I really started, venturing out and trying different things. And I found a couple good ones that were like $50 a bottle. I think, oh yeah, buddy. So that's where we went. My adventures with the cigars is a little different. I'd never smoked, never done anything, forever. I'll tell you. So when I was really, really young, I was about right in that 5, 6, 7 with my dad, and where we were living out at a camp. It was a man camp between Big Piney and La Barge in Wyoming, and there were mechanics and gas and pumpers and stuff like that. They were sitting out there smoking, and I was little. Shit, I might have been even below 5. And they were flicking their butts out. Well, I tried one. I picked one up and I tried to smoke it, and I got sicker than shit. And I was coughing, turning green, puking. And at that point, my dad said, he was really mad, and he goes, "You can't do that. You're allergic to smoke, and you'll die."
He learned you right there, huh?
So I thought, in my little brain, I was done.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
So I never smoked anything. And I told everybody that I was allergic to smoke as through my teens, and I will die. So I never smoked until I was 50 years old. We went on, right around 50. We went to the Dominican.
Oh, shit.
Yep. And it was Badger's graduation, his little graduation trip. And I was down there drinking whiskey. Got talking to this old boy, and he's started schooling me on how to smoke a cigar. I thought, well, fuck. I don't have to inhale.
That don't go into my lungs? What?
Yeah, the smoke won't hurt me.
And it tastes good. And there's different things, like cedar, tobacco, wood, chocolate, caramel, whatever.
Yeah.
I said, well, shit, I can do that. Fired me up a cigar, and damn.
There you were.
Nice.
So then I got on Famous Smokes, I think. One of them online smoke things. And I ordered 2 of the big, like the variety packs.
Sure.
So I smoked, I don't know, within probably 6 months, I smoked all them son of a bitches. I was like, damn, this ain't bad. Feeling sorry for myself, drinking bourbon. So that's
stuck.
Nice.
Yeah, that's kind of where I went. That's how it started.
My dad used to order from that catalog.
Did he?
Yeah.
That's
pretty cool.
I did a little different. I was the same thing. I didn't drink very much. And then when my little brother passed away, I I decided that I needed to start living life a little bit more. And so,
You want an ice cube?
no, I'm good. I'll get an ice cube here in a minute. And, so I started, trying out some different drinks and whatnot. And, I just kind of, I was like, you know what? I need to just drink it straight, just on ice, so I can actually enjoy it. And so then I started drinking some different whiskeys and whatnot. And about the same time,
Thank you.
I was thinking, oh yeah, I really need to. I was thinking that cigars looked really freaking cool. But the only cigars that looked cool was when the guys that smoked the big cigars.
The gangsters. And
Yeah. And so I was like, I'm going to smoke cigars now, but only the big cigars because they look cool. And I tried a couple times and I was like, I don't know, this might not happen. And the problem was I kept trying to inhale
it. Yeah.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it was a cigarette, which I had never smoked my whole life. Couple cigarettes in my whole life. That was it. I smoked weed, which doesn't count. Anyways, and then I talked to a buddy, and he was like, "No, you can't inhale. Cigars are not. You're not supposed to inhale. It's for the flavor. Blah blah blah." And I was like, "Okay." And then so I tried a couple more times. Still wasn't doing good. And then my gunsmith here, when I took over the store. He's like, no. He's like, don't inhale, but you need to find some smoother cigars to start with. And he recommended me to go to the smoke shop here in town. And he goes, you go to this girl, you talk to her. She's the only really attractive girl that works there. She's an expert. Tell her what's going on. She'll make some recommendations. And you can ease yourself in. And just so you know, all the bourbon and whiskeys and scotches, all that stuff, the cigars just enhance the flavor.
The flavors.
And make it taste even better. And he could have just started out with that and I would have done whatever he told me. Because that's all I cared about. So I went there. That girl's amazing. Her name's Lilani. She works at the freaking smoke shop here in town. She's awesome. I thought at the time that she was like a cigar connoisseur. Turns out she doesn't really smoke cigars very much at all. She just listens to people and reads.
She has the knowledge,
and follows what her customers tell her.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Which is great. But she's never steered me wrong, and she's always done well. Now I've smoked enough cigars that I can make my own decisions, and I read magazines and reviews, and I even write my own reviews now.
Now you're a grown-ass man.
So I can make my own decisions. But definitely for sure, if you're a whiskey connoisseur, you should be smoking cigars. Because cigars enhance the flavor of whiskeys and bourbons and scotches so much it's not even funny. They also enhance the flavors of food and everything else. But so that's what turned me on to it. So
nice.
What are some of your favorites?
Ooh, man. Like I love La Aurora, the barrel aged, and the 1495. I like Olivas, the V's. Those are probably my top two.
It was like Dominican or
yeah, definitely, yeah. La Auroras are actually one of the oldest cigar factories in the Dominican. I think a lot of those actually, a lot of the Cubans, when they went and did the embargo and everything,
sure.
I think they kind of skedaddled over there to the Dominican. So
I had a story about a customer about the Dominicans and the Cuban cigars, and pretty much his story is it's the same because it's pretty much the same plant and everything else, and it's just from the migration of communism or whatever, and people trying to escape, and they brought their trade to, I guess, Dominica.
Yeah.
There was a lady when I was on the cruise ship here recently. She was, because I was looking forward to going to Canada, to Victoria, so I could grab some Cuban cigars. But she was telling me that they actually lifted that a couple years ago.
Yeah.
You can buy Cuban cigars in town now.
You can.
But I still haven't. I don't remember seeing any cigars that say Cuba right on them.
Huh.
So
I think I thought like
well, you got me the Cuban
Christmas.
rejects.
Yeah,
But I thought that meant that they weren't really Cuban.
No, they were. They just weren't. The lady that you just said,
Yeah.
she described them to me as they couldn't package them as the whatever brand. So they just buy them in bulk as reject.
Anyways, my whole reason for going to Victoria was that I was going to go to the cigar shop and fucking buy some Cuban cigars. But I never did because that lady ruined it for me.
So can they accept them from Cuba?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Victoria?
Canada doesn't have the embargo.
No.
Okay.
Just the U.S.
It's just a U.S. thing.
But it is lifted in the U.S.
According
as
to
far
that
as I know.
lady, you could still buy cigars. You can buy Cuban cigars in the States now.
Yeah, that
But I don't know. I don't remember. I still don't. To this day, I don't remember seeing any.
the mail
I
order.
haven't gone down there and checked it out yet, but I will in the very near future.
I'm pretty sure at Seven Feathers in the store, guess whatever the hell you call that, they had some in there.
Yeah.
They were actually had the Cuban label on them.
Yeah. That'd be cool. I'm thinking about. I can't do it this year because I don't have time, but next year, I'm thinking about during hunt season, taking like a box of fucking random cigars and fucking, like 4 or 5 good bottles of whiskey, and just whenever I pull over on the side of the road, putting up a sign that says "Random Whiskey and Cigar Bar" in the middle of the woods. And seeing if I can make some money selling some good whiskey and good cigars.
That'd be legal. That could turn into a George Floyd moment.
Yeah.
You don't have a permit.
Yeah. Well, come catch me. But yeah, I think it'd be cool. Random whiskey cigar bar in the middle of the woods during hunting season.
I believe you.
I tell you what, if I saw that, I
You would stop, huh?
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah. So what about
funny.
whiskey? So those are a couple of your good cigars that you really like.
Yeah, those are the top 2 for sure.
I'll tell you mine right now. I'm really digging Gurkha cigars.
Oh, I haven't found a bad one of those.
Yeah, they're fucking. And you know what? One of the things that determines whether it's a good cigar to me is whether or not the fucking ash will stay on.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I want to be like freaking Churchill with a giant fucking ash.
Yeah, buddy.
But a lot of them, like, I'll be fucking smoking and it fucking falls all over me all of a sudden. That pisses me off. But those Gurkhas, man,
Those are good.
they're good. And you almost have to fucking fight with them to get them bust off.
Yeah, I have not found a bad one of those.
I've had some good ones. And also, all of the Drew Estate cigars. Drew Estate makes some excellent cigars, and they're lighter. A lot of them have like a caramel flavor and whatnot.
Ooh, nice.
And so those are great for people that are starting out. But I really like those also.
My son turned 21. With the year he turned 21, we were trying to find Carlos a Christmas present, whatever. And so he got to go into that tobacco shop. And finally, he always wanted to go in there. So he got in there and he got to pick out a cigar for Carlos. And I can't remember it was a fat lady or fat
bottom Betty.
Fat bottom
which
Betty.
was already one of my favorite cigars.
Fat bottom. He just because of the name, he said, "I'm getting this right here."
Nice.
Those are excellent. Those are also a Drew Estate cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make a pretty
that's
good
why I
one.
said.
Yeah, I love their cigars. You turned me on to my father's cigars.
I like those.
A lot of those are really good. Those don't hold an ash real great, but
They got good
have
flavor.
great flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the Alec Bradley Presionado.
Oh, I don't know if I've tried those.
That's a pretty good one. And then the Padron, 1964. That's a pretty good one. I like that.
That sounds familiar for some reason.
So year before last, I started journaling every day. I write my journal every day.
Oh, nice.
Well, last year I started saving cigar wrappers.
Yeah.
And I glue those into my journal whenever I have a cigar. And sometimes, if it's a good one, I'll write a little review next to it so that I remember if that's a good cigar. But now, like this year, this last journal that I went through, I go through a journal about every 3 months. And the last one, there's so many cigar wrappers in it that, like, you open the pages and all you can smell, it smells like you're in a cigar shop, dude. Like all you can smell is the cigar flavor, which is pretty cool.
Heck yeah.
That was my dad smoked a pipe when I was a little kid. There was some store in Eugene at the mall. And as soon as you walked in there, it just,
Was that the store with the fucking the fucking suit of armor?
Yes.
Yes, I love that.
It reminds me, just, as a little kid, that's where they get the tobacco and stuff like that.
Hell yeah.
Just the smell of it now.
Slaps you in the face.
Yeah, the memories.
Right on. Heck yeah.
I met a guy at SHOT Show year before last, and he smoked a pipe. And I was smoking a cigar, and he was telling me about how much better a friggin' pipe was. And so I tried to smoke his pipe, take a couple drags off his pipe. So different. Dude.
Yeah.
It wasn't horrible. Like, I could totally figure out how you can get into it, but it's different. And, like, it does not look as cool as a cigar.
Do you have to inhale?
Yeah.
It's pretty similar. Like, it's basically the same thing. You're smoking tobacco. You're not smoking nicotine.
Yeah.
So you don't inhale. It's the same thing.
You're getting the flavor.
Yeah, it's all about the flavors and whatnot, but it just... The whole reason I started smoking cigars was to look cool. You look kind of like a douche fucking smoking a pipe.
It's like...
Unless you got that wizard status.
Yeah, Gandalf the
If I was
Great.
going for the Gandalf thing, maybe, but...
You're down here lighting.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And
got that big old wizard.
Like a cigar, you already know if you don't stay on a cigar, it fucking goes out.
Yeah, that's fact.
Well, a pipe is basically like 10 times that. Like, you pretty much have to light it every time you're fucking taking a drag on a pipe.
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Control the flame.
That would be really annoying.
Yeah, that's not for me.
My grandpa and my dad always had to,
got that little callus there.
Yeah, because they'd put it over the end of the rim of the pipe.
They'll just take a couple drags off a pipe
and just talk
and then put it away and come back later and smoke some more drags off a pipe.
Yeah,
it's like an all day. Like, you load some tobacco into a pipe and it lasts you all day. Whereas a cigar, you light a cigar and you have a conversation on the porch for an hour.
Yeah.
It's not like... The whole reason I smoke the big cigars is so that it makes me slow down.
Yeah, it's relaxing.
Makes me take that freaking hour.
Actually relaxing,
to fucking chill out and not do anything else except for relax and have that cigar.
Yeah, I like that, like a 52 ring.
Yeah, it's awesome. Dude.
Yeah, that 50, 52, that's my jam.
Plus, I look cool as shit.
They are. They're not bad, that's for sure.
Big Poppy.
What sets Umpqua Survival apart? For starters, their cutting-edge classes, their huge selection of guns and ammo, their expansive offering of quality outdoor gear, and their unwavering community support and outstanding customer service. Vote Umpqua Survival as your favorite outdoor and hobby store at nrtoday.com.
If Yellowstone goes off, we're fucked.
Yeah,
I won't even.
That's massive.
I don't know the kill zone.
Damn near 2 states, right?
Yeah, it's
of a volcano.
I don't know what the hell. I kicked this back now.
Oh, we're good.
So, anyways, we took a little break. Hopefully this is recording okay, because
it looks like it.
I did to this. It looks like it's recording okay, but I might have fucked it up and have
Hey, we know a guy.
I
Vince, he knows a guy.
So just so you know, I had an episode record the whole episode, and then I tried to do a little editing right after the episode, and I was pretty lit up.
God, that was funny.
I thought I deleted the whole fucking episode. I thought it was gone. And for like 3 weeks, I was ready to just re-record the whole thing. And then I did enough Googling, I figured it out, and I brought it all back, and I figured it out. But I did not do that with this episode.
So I said, hey, we know a guy, because the guy that he was one of his friends that he was interviewing or whatever. And he's like, that's what he kept saying. I know a guy. He's really good with IT stuff.
Yeah, he was talking about me.
He goes, let me give him a call.
He was talking about me. I'm not good with IT stuff. So, anyways, we took a break for a second so we could all refill our drinks. And you were supposed to pick out another bottle for us to try after this.
Oh, shit.
But I didn't see another bottle out.
I failed miserably.
Yeah.
My bad.
You just looked at him.
I did. Yeah.
He was reading labels.
You got me talking about.
I'm sorry. I sidetracked him.
You sidetracked him.
That's what I do.
Shit.
He did. Sidetracked me.
So, we talked about cigars. So, what are some of your favorite whiskeys? Right, you're a bourbon guy, right?
I am a bourbon guy.
You were the whole reason why I originally tried out Blanton's, which is great. I like Blanton's. I think there's some great bourbons out there, and Blanton's is not probably at the top of them, but I think it's great.
Yeah, Blanton's. I like Blanton's.
Yeah. What are some of your other favorites? What are some of your go-tos?
I love Woodford Reserve Double Oak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably one of my
Dude, Woodford Reserves, all of theirs are really good, actually.
Yeah, they're I like those. The Double Oak, though, it just got a little more character, a little more flavor to it.
I saw some pictures on Facebook of your beginnings of your whiskey library.
Oh, yeah.
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 I think that's cool.
I'm working on it. I got a lot of work to do, but...
You probably have the same problem I do.
What's that?
It's there to drink.
Yeah.
So it's hard to freaking accumulate any kind of a freaking library.
It is. It's really difficult.
And it's hard to spend money on stuff you're not going to use right away.
Yeah, well, and it's hard. I like drinking.
Yeah.
I've slowed down a little bit the last couple of years, but I enjoy a good one with some ice and big old ice cube, and I like it straight. I like the flavors. It's just a good old time. Bourbon's great. I like Angel's Envy. That's one of the cheaper ones. I think is
honestly, there's some really good bourbons and whiskeys and scotches. There's some really good ones that are not super expensive, under $60 a bottle.
Yeah, like Old Forester.
Yeah.
The Prohibition, like 1920, I think. I like that one. That's a pretty tasty one. Breckenridge, Colorado bourbon. That's out of the Peach Street Distillery in Grand Junction, Colorado.
Nice.
That's what's cool is some bourbons and whiskeys you can't get everywhere.
That is
so
a fact.
You go to one liquor store.
It's like regional or something. Or...
Well, not even regional. It's just whether that liquor store orders them. So, I mean, you go to one liquor store, you might find something, and you might find it at a retail price. And then you go to another liquor store, and you might find the same exact whiskey for 3 times the price because it's a hard one to get.
That's crazy.
Which, in Oregon, you don't have to worry about that because it's regulated by Oregon.
Yeah.
But some states aren't like that.
So you can... How does that work?
Well, so... if you ever were able to get a bottle of, like, say, Pappy Van Winkle in Oregon, it would be at a retail price. You just won't ever find one because the liquor store's holding it for somebody.
Yeah.
Or why not?
Unless you're really
Ah.
$1,000 instead of 60.
unless you're really good friends with the liquor store
Yeah,
owner.
it's just not good.
Do the liquor store owners have priority then?
Well,
They
honestly, so they used to,
Yeah.
but last year
They just had a
they had a
big
big ordeal about how a bunch of the OLCC hierarchy were having these liquor stores.
they knew
for this stuff.
where the orders were coming.
They were holding it for them. So they would order, a case of Pappy, and they were holding it for the OLCC people who were buying it up for retail and then turning around
And selling it
for $2,000 a bottle.
on online
that's kind of shady.
online
We'll see
shit.
if it actually works out to benefit anybody. I have not seen it yet. I haven't seen a bottle of anything cool for a retail price. But I've found a lot of good stuff. I joined a couple of different liquor or bourbon or whiskey clubs where they send you bottles every month. And you get to try some different stuff at a decent price. And I've tried some cool stuff that was like $100 bottle that, I'm paying
Just
$60 a month.
just because you had the membership, yeah.
Yeah, but so I've had some good stuff, and then I've got friends that spend the money for those $2,000 bottles, so I've got to try some of that stuff. But I will tell you, some of it is worth it. Like, I was totally against rye whiskey. I did not like rye whiskey at all. The only purpose for rye whiskey was to have an old fashioned, which traditionally should be made with rye whiskey. And I thought rye whiskey was only for mixing drinks. But I have a friend who had some Pappy Van Winkle rye. That was amazing.
Wow.
Like $1,800, $2,000 for a bottle.
That's
Yeah, it's a little out of my
It's
price
really
range.
smooth and fucking
antiseptic
amazing.
stuff for
But I also
Civil
found some
War.
other stuff. Like I found a Frey Ranch, which is a Frey Ranch rye, which is amazing. You can't find it very many places here in town, but you can order it online for $50, $60 a bottle. I've found some other ryes that I really like, and the more I drink it, the more I appreciate it, and I can handle it. So yeah, I mean, I've tried some different things, and like anything, the more you drink it, the more you develop a taste for it, and you don't notice all the other parts of it. You appreciate them instead of thinking that they're nasty.
So is the rye a little spicier, or?
Yeah,
Not
for sure. I mean,
It's-
it's kind of the difference between a regular, like a light beer, and a
It's-
freaking IPA.
Okay.
Well, it's kind of got the bite to it,
It's got a bite,
you know.
but sometimes you appreciate that.
Yeah.
Just depends on what you're doing or where you're having or whatnot. And I've started to kind of be more of a connoisseur of, like, I like the 100 proof plus whiskeys more than I do the regular 90 proof or whatnot.
Yeah,
I like the stuff that's more than half alcohol than
Yeah.
I like the 50% plus.
Then
More than I like the
now Oregon has also been pretty lenient in handing out private distilling stuff too, for more, because the wine industry just boomed in Oregon.
Ah, okay.
And so now a lot of places they're doing spirits. And so you get a lot of,
Yeah, Oregon's quickly becoming one of the main places for wine, for
microbrews,
for distilleries.
distilling and spirits. And
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming out of
nice.
Oregon now. It's pretty cool.
it used to be, personal consumption only, if not illegal. But now they're letting people do it as a, commercial style.
Nice.
So,
I'll tell you, one of the better wines I had was from Oregon.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Bay.
I wouldn't doubt it one bit.
It was a sweet red. Wow.
Dude, red wine, some of the red wines, Pairs so good with cigars.
Man.
Yeah. We got
Holy
that.
smokes, dude.
Abasella is a really big, award-winning place. That's right here in Winston, Oregon. And
Yeah.
then the Henry's Estates. There's so many different.
When you finally move over here, there's like 4 or 5 wineries here.
And then you get into
close.
the
They're my
Willamette.
regular customers,
Yeah.
and they all know that I'm down with whatever's going to pair well with the cigar.
Nice.
So most of
Here,
them I've
try
got set
this.
up so that if they're picking something up, instead of paying me their
They sweeten the deal.
transfer and background check,
Right.
they'll just bring me a couple bottles of wine and we'll make a trade.
Oh, fantastic.
So I end up with a lot of bottles of wine to try out. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Perks.
yeah, it works out good.
That's just right.
Plus,
Rotten grapes.
it's nice. Yeah, when you don't feel like getting a buzz or getting drunk, you just want to have a nice drink and smoke a cigar. Do a couple glasses of wine is nice.
Or
Heck yeah.
in Carlos's sake, when you're all out of whiskey or bourbon, break open that bottle of wine.
You know what's funny is I was planning on doing sober October.
Nope.
I did good for like
2 weeks.
days.
I thought
7,
you
8
made.
days.
I thought you made it a week.
A little over a week. I did good. And then the kids brought home that dough that I had to freaking help take care of.
All right.
And
That sent you over the edge?
Well, I was wiped out, dude. I was so tired when I was done. I was like, I need a glass of whiskey.
Just,
sit here
I'm
on
gonna
the floor.
calm down, relax, leave me alone.
So I did that, and it ruined my freaking sober October. And it was funny because the very next day, Sarah was on TikTok and got this TikTok that she sent me that said, "So you failed at sober October, so now it's Bender till December."
Bender till December.
And she said that to me, I laughed so hard.
So, yep,
Put
that's
that
it.
foot on the gas pedal, huh?
No brakes in this vehicle.
Yeah, it was
Right.
funny. So
Hell
we'll
yeah.
see. In the new year, I
Yes.
plan on having 1 month of sober activity. We'll see which month.
Right on.
But it's not happening until next year.
Carlos, that's 30 days, man. I don't know.
I can handle it.
I don't know.
I can handle it.
Prove me wrong.
I will.
February short.
Yeah, that's only 28.
That's where nothing's going on. There can't be holidays and stuff like that because I got stuff going on.
Right on.
So we'll see. February won't work because that's the sportsman show. And the sportsman show, the guy that runs the sportsman show has figured out that it works really good to put my booth
Right next
really
to
close to a liquor booth
yes.
because I sell stuff for them and I spend money.
Oh, shit.
So February's not going to work because I'll be at the sportsman show.
That's a no-go, huh?
Yeah.
That's
you
one
can't-
of
you can't be in sober month
one of
when
them.
there's a whiskey booth next to your booth.
That'd be pretty rough.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could handle that one.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens, but I'll make it happen in 1 month. So 1 month a year, I think I can make it.
Sure, Carlos. I believe you.
It's got faith.
Yeah, I do.
So, Brad, what other kind of stuff you got going on? What kind of stuff do you do?
Man, I'm pretty simple. you know, we've touched about on everything that makes me tick. I'm a recluse.
You have any other hobbies or nothing?
Well, I got a bunch of hobbies that I never finished. So.
You never get to
I mean,
do.
that's the story of when you become an adult with hobbies, all you do is get the basics of it, figure out that you can do it.
Shit, I've
and
tried
then
to.
you move on to something else.
I've tried woodworking, leatherworking. Christ, a bunch of different stuff.
Fly fishing, just everything.
That I have not, but
Really?
I'm willing to try that.
We got a famous river right here to do.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Actually,
so one of my customers, one of my customers, and then a couple of different people that I partner with for different things, they actually run fly fishing stuff for veterans.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, actually, 2 weeks ago they had an organization called Fly Fishing with Veterans has a big freaking thing here at the fairgrounds
Mm-hmm.
where they had. I think this year they had over 100 different.
It was the biggest.
Fly tires.
Wow.
All at the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
They were tying flies and teaching people how to tie flies, and it was all the majority of them are veterans.
It's pretty phenomenal.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And they do deals, and then I've got another person that we partner with all the time who takes veterans out in the wilderness here in Douglas County, and they hike out different trails, and they do work on fixing the trails up and whatnot. And while they're out, he teaches them how to fly fish. And
It's pretty phenomenal shit.
So it's pretty cool.
Man, I'd love to do something like that. That'd be amazing.
There's a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
That's
a lot of veterans here. A lot of veterans helping other veterans. And
Which is the way it should be.
But yeah, as far as the fly fishing goes, there's a lot of opportunity for it here.
Yeah, I would love to try that. That's one thing,
Yeah.
that's definitely on my bucket list. I wouldn't mind trying that one.
Yeah. I can picture once you move here, once you sell that place in Wyoming and move to Oregon, which I will say I need to come to Wyoming before you move here.
Right on.
But once you get over here, there's so much stuff for that. And I can totally picture you getting involved with one of the nonprofits around here.
Yeah, the locals.
Helping them out with their organization. Because there's so much stuff going on with veterans. There's so much stuff going on with first responders. And,
youth.
And you're part of both of those communities.
Yeah, man. And that's what it's all about in my eyes. Giving back. You have got to give back to go forward.
Yeah. It makes you whole.
Yeah. And there's nothing more fulfilling than to give, and especially like the youth. I help coach youth football for, this is the first year I haven't done it actually in probably, 20 years. And that kind of sucked, but that was a joy. Watching the little people, especially coming, you get 5th, 4th, 5th, 6th graders, teaching them the basics, the fundamentals.
Yes, the fundamentals, and
especially like the ones that are not able or capable, and maybe a little autistic,
or totally doubt themselves.
Yeah,
and you put that spark into them,
give them a little courage.
I like that you put that in there. Whether they're able and capable. Maybe they're autistic.
Fuck. Everybody's got a little something, right?
Yes.
But man, they got the little heart, the little desire. And just watching that, man, just watching that flourish. That makes me really.
There've been several people talk to Carlos, just through the podcast stuff that I've been involved in, offering, or not so much offering, but just thinking of things that you could do for youth, whether it's what'd you call it, showing them just skills for outdoor skills, or we were just talking to Mark about it for processing animals.
Dude, that would be awesome.
Anything to help out, and that the kids don't get that opportunity. And
I'm gonna have hopefully here in the near future I'll have Bob. It's Bob, right, from the bowling alley.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have him on because
we talked. Yes,
from Oregon, and they run they do a big. I don't know what it is, like a little like camp or whatever. But they take a bunch of parents and their kids, and they come over, and they get to go on a little hunt. And he brings in, if they don't kill something on the hunt, he brings in a beef.
and they get to
hell yeah.
they get to
Shows them
learn
how
how
to
to
butcher
process,
how to process it,
field dress.
how to field dress it,
Right
how
on.
to process it into steaks and whatever. They go through the whole thing, and they give them a whole experience over, like a 4-day weekend type of thing. And but he was telling me about that because he I don't know if he donates or sells or whatever. But anyway, some of his beef goes over to that program, and in exchange, they let him and one of his kids come over to it. And he was telling me how awesome it was.
Yeah, it just goes right back to the whole thing of helping out.
But if I can work out a partnership with some people here in town,
I think that would be
and do
awesome.
something very similar, I think that'd be amazing.
Even if it was just
Yeah.
camping skills,
Yeah.
Just
Anything.
basic outdoors, something
a
different
couple-
than an Xbox.
Yeah, a
Get
couple
out,
years
get
ago-
outside.
Hell yeah.
you
A
know.
couple years ago, one of the Cub Scout leaders,
Yeah,
and I think she was in Yoncall. Anyways, she contacted me and asked if I would do a knife safety class with her group.
that's basic. Yeah,
And so I went out to Yoncall one evening, and I met with this Cub Scout troop, and I took a big ass first aid kit because I was fully
of course
expecting-
you had to.
I was fully expecting one of these kids.
Oh, that is sharp.
But it was the coolest thing was I took a bunch of Boy Scout multi tools. So I mean they're very basic, but they're the Boy Scout brand of a multi tool, and I wanted to show them how every tool on that knife worked, and how to use them safely and all that stuff. So I started out and I showed them the basic knife safety, cut away from you and keep your fingers out of the way and that stuff. Showed them that stuff. The coolest thing is I got to show them some of the other tools that are on there. And not a single person in that class, not even the parents, knew what the can opener.
That's a leather punch?
Really?
What's a leather punch do? You punch leather.
Leather
you
punch,
poke
can
holes.
opener. None of them knew what any of that
Yeah,
stuff.
Wow.
They thought, one of the ladies said that she thought it was some kind of a fishing thing. And
That's for removing hooks.
so I brought I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what kind of can but I brought a can out, like some bit of canned food, and
You just showed them. Yeah,
how to use that can.
I think that kind
we
of.
sell P38s and stuff here in the store. So many people have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
Like we sell them to people, and the whole reason we sell them to them is because they're like, "What the hell is this thing?"
Is that a screwdriver?
And then they're like, "Oh my god, I gotta have one of those on my
Yeah.
keychain."
It's just neat
Well,
to me.
everybody
I
should
think.
have one.
And the funny thing is, so the Boy Scout multi-tools that I took out there are like the old school stuff where they don't have any kind of blade locks or anything like that. So anything like that doesn't have a blade lock, one of these idiot kids is going to fold the knife up.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why I took the big ass.
Well, that's a real possibility.
And sure enough, in fact, I could have told you this I could have told you exactly.
Who was going to do it? And they did it.
2 minutes into the whole presentation, I could have told you. And sure enough, he folded the whole knife up on his fucking hand, cut his finger. I had to fucking doctor his hand up. For him.
Well, that's a learning experience
and his
right
mom
there.
apologized like crazy about how he's so sorry he does that everywhere he goes. I go, oh, I know. I knew before I even met you.
But even then, that's a
I could've
learning
told you
for
from
the
first
other
point that was going to be the kid.
for the other kids. That's a learning thing. Don't panic. This
For
is
sure.
what you do.
Exactly.
I love it.
Great opportunity.
I think there needs to be way more of that.
But that kind of stuff is awesome, and I would love to do that.
Hell yeah, that's great.
And it's like thinking of taking the kids rafting and teaching them how to camp and that kind of stuff. I mean, I felt so good when I went to do that.
It was awesome. We taught them how to cook. You know, we did some Dutch oven stuff, and we'd cook a meal and show them how to use that.
Sweet.
Dutch oven stuff is badass.
Shane would be the master teacher. He is.
It's such. I've never had a better lasagna than when I cooked
Lasagna.
in a Dutch oven.
I think Shane's actual quote was, he goes, I don't think there's anything I haven't cooked in here.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it was amazing.
We haven't done it for a couple of years. We used to elk camp. And our elk camp is
amazing culinary. It's just
more about
fucking
the food,
on spot.
Hanging out with buddies and just like
Totally.
Right on.
We basically every day we split it up between the three of us. We're responsible for food for that day. Mike pretty much defers to letting us do his days.
I just bring stuff. Here, cook.
You're not a cook.
And
No,
Mike,
because I don't want to get in their way.
Shane and I have it down to like a freaking science.
Yes.
Like we don't even talk to each other.
Nope.
One of us knows what our job
We're
is.
going to start cooking and they separate, and Carlos
we
is...
start cutting stuff up and putting stuff together.
Heck yeah.
And we come up with some good stuff. But during that week at elk camp,
way better than... I mean, we had my brother-in-law was just totally blown away because we had...
He fucking chickened out of half the shit.
Gator.
Yeah, we
made a gumbo with alligator, crawdads, shrimp.
Shane ordered stuff in from Louisiana.
Yes.
That's just right. Hell yeah. Do a little Cajun cooking, huh?
Yeah, and then the drunk chili that he's going to patent one of these days.
Drunk chili is my fucking ball.
And then
drunk chili.
The cowboy breakfast.
It evolves every year. Every
Yeah.
time I make it even better.
And every time he's like, damn it, I didn't write anything down.
Oh, I wrote it down last year.
Do you journal that?
Yeah, I wrote it down.
It was just you and Shane last year. So.
Yeah, I posted it every day that I can remember. I posted the recipe of what we made.
Heck yeah.
So, but yeah, that's it's and that's what hunting camp's about. It's about the
Hell yeah.
Teaching.
It's about the experience. It's not about that.
If you could figure out the legalities of it, if you could possibly involve youth into that, I don't know, with the legalities of the firearms and juveniles and all that shit.
Well, I've talked about it before. Next year, I really want to put together enough cross survival camp.
Yes, 100%.
2 or 3 days, where basically it's just where any of our customers and their families want to come out. We're going to host a camp. We're going to have like a potluck style.
Rent out the Rod and Gun Club or something.
We're going to set up a freaking range and games. We'll do some cornhole and everything else. And we're just going to have fun.
Hell yeah.
I love it. I love it.
And this next year, I'm really going to make it happen. So we'll see what happens. But that's the plan.
So you got
that's amazing.
You got plenty of opportunity, all kinds of stuff that you could be doing when you move here.
Hell yeah, that sounds awesome.
Be involved. Get involved. And
Mike's going to get North River to
I'll try.
sponsor some shit. We'll give away. Dude, we can give away a North River jet boat.
No, we can't.
No, come on.
No.
Get them to commit.
You are not getting me to say no.
A pontoon?
No. I'll get you stickers. Stickers, that's it. I'll go ahead and buy the shirt, and I'll give you guys a shirt.
So what do you think, Brad? What do you think is going
on? I was really uncomfortable coming into this, to be honest.
You were nervous.
Are you still uncomfortable?
Hey, you better hand me your glass so I can fill it up.
Are you still uncomfortable?
No, the more whiskey I get in me, the better I get.
I
Yeah.
told you we were going to be mellow.
Yeah. It's
But I've enjoyed it.
good.
It's really great, honestly. Thank you.
No, this is fun. Getting to know people, and I've met you a couple times. You were pretty under the weather the one time I met you at the coast, but
Definitely not a Navy guy.
Damn, I'll tell you, I do.
That was a rough day, guys. That was a rough day.
Don't have my sea legs. I'll tell you that much. I'm a land lover.
Yeah.
Army men don't go in that sea shit.
No,
I'll tell you
no.
that much.
It's got to be smooth.
Yeah, that I'll tell you what. Speaking of that I don't know who our captain was.
That was a little boat.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure they said nobody under 26 foot was to go out.
You
that
guys
day.
did her, huh?
Yeah, this.
Dude, we were on our way out.
I know.
And the fucking Coast Guard started honking their horn and said,
They're like,
hey, stop.
they're like,
Stop.
no.
Let us guide you out. You're in the fucking crash.
And we were fucking 15 feet from that shore.
The
that
rocks.
We were about to run into the
I don't know
Yeah.
how we didn't.
One hell of a rough day right there.
And
That's not normal, by the
I'll tell
way.
you what,
Brad, that's not normal at all.
Brad and Badger, about
Badger.
15 minutes after that, immediately dove into the cabin
They were done,
and spent the entire rest of the day there.
When,
Trying not to
after the fact of the hours after you were on shore, you
The only
came
time they came out of there was throwing.
to the park where
I
I was
never
with
threw
Sarah and the kids.
Badger did.
oh yeah, he was in it.
The first thing Badger did when you guys got out of the van or the vehicle is he laid on the fucking table because he couldn't move anywhere.
Did it? That what the hell do they call that? What the hell is that called? The run or the
Sorry,
when you're traversing right with the section
bar.
the bar.
Yeah.
Yes, that was brutal.
Yeah, that's
It
pretty
was scary,
pretty
too.
pretty sketchy.
You couldn't see nothing. 'cause
Especially when you're on a 22-foot boat going out there.
The fog was so thick you couldn't see your ass in front of your.
Yeah.
And that captain, he was trying to play it off, but I know his ass was taking a
Oh,
bite.
he has to be, He's,
And then the Coast Guard comes on and say, "Hey, follow us."
Yeah, they started honking their horn at us. I was like, what the fuck?
So
The
his
worst
shit.
part is I made it worse. I made it
no.
worse because I remember we were on our way out there, and I was like, let's stop right here. I want to get a burrito.
Yes.
And we all kind of stopped. And
Put
got
some shit in your belly that you
Yeah.
can just puke out. Go ahead.
Well, they didn't
Honestly,
say.
I was pretty nauseous. I just never fucking spewed.
Yeah, but his fucking face was whiter than a
Yeah,
motherfucker.
It was
bet.
bad. It
I
was
bet.
rough.
And Badger, and while we had drank before the night before,
Of course.
and nobody said shit about taking the Dramamine
Dramamine.
like 3 days before, right? So we're taking it that morning, which
slap
makes
that
it worse.
shit behind your ear, take a pill, go. Fuck that.
Yeah, that
That's where I learned that.
fuck.
That's where I learned that. Where the fucking guy's like, oh, we're supposed to start taking it like 3
2 days, yeah.
Like, what?
72 hours.
Nobody told us that shit. And them waves, man, and I'm being a little dramatic.
No, you're not.
Them motherfuckers were up there like
When you-
12, 15.
When you're like, 100 feet from fucking land and it disappears. And then it's there, then it disappears.
And that's all morning, man. We were
Yeah.
just, damn.
They
was bad.
they say, do not watch the horizon. Focus on something in the boat.
I couldn't focus on shit. My boys, oh, it was rough.
Badger wouldn't even come out of the cabin.
My boy was fucked up.
Yep.
And I was fighting it. And then Savoy, he commandeered that, just bogarted that window.
One corner.
So if I had to puke, I couldn't. I was sitting back in that corner.
You're like, you little sons of
Me
bitches.
and,
Oh, my
someone's
God.
friend and dad that were there.
I can't recall.
God
Someone's
damn.
friend and his dad, they were there. Me and them We were fucking the only ones out, like, on the deck of the boat.
Yeah, that's the other trick.
Everybody else was, those guys, and it was cold, dude. I wanted to go inside.
No, that's the trick. You get away from that diesel fuel.
Savoy would
was
leave
fucked
the
up.
window. Savoy would leave the window, and Brad and fucking Badger were taking up the rest of them.
Yeah.
They would only come out to throw up.
Dude, I was in the back corner, and that's where I stayed.
You need to go on a good boat ride. That's a rough one.
Oh my gosh, it was rough.
So that was a small boat.
Yeah.
A few months, just a couple months after that, I went on the Betty K.
You get on the 40-footer or the 50-footers.
Which was like 3 times the size of that.
It's like 52 feet long.
So. I could maybe handle that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I was on the side of that boat fishing, and a couple times the water almost touched my face.
Wow.
That's how bad the water was out on that boat.
Yeah.
And me and Chris, the guy that I bought the business from, we were the only ones that weren't spending the entire trip throwing up.
No,
well, it's because we tested you before.
Yeah, it's different. You gotta.
Well, honestly, I think I just don't get seasick that bad.
Yeah,
because when I went on my Alaska cruise, it was horrible too.
Sarah got sick.
I didn't get sick. I was fine. I mean, it was just like swerving all the time. But
I'd be willing to try it again, but that one was rough, man. I'm not sure.
It definitely.
I have to say
there's a way better experience. That was definitely a rough day.
What do you think of that?
It's got a bite.
That's a representative, right?
Yeah. Finishes well. Good flavor. Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
I don't know. I like these stronger stuff. I don't know why.
That's not bad.
I like 100 proof, at least. It's good for me.
I like that one. That's pretty. I would buy that.
So
that one you had
a whole line. They have like the senator, the representative, the governor.
Yeah, as politics.
I've had them all.
The page.
They've all been.
Yeah, I like that's a pretty good one.
I know. Glad you like it.
I like that one you shared with me the other night. That was a pretty good one.
That was the Hemingway. Right? I actually have a bottle of that, but that's this right here.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
Yeah, but I bought another bottle of it, but it's for a present for a buddy of mine. One of his favorites, also.
Your buddy's gonna like that one, huh?
Yeah,
it's one of his favorites. And it's hard to find, and I found it, so I got another bottle of it. They actually have a few bottles left of it at the liquor store here in Roseburg, so if anybody wants it, Hemingway Rye. It's amazing. Awesome. I think it's like $80 a bottle.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Yeah, it is one of the best freaking. And it's a rye, and you won't be able to tell it's a rye. It's
smooth for a rye.
Since you know what's his butt at the store.
What store? At the liquor store?
Can you put in orders with him?
So
private order.
Well, so the way Oregon works,
I know, but
the way Oregon works, you're not allowed to do that. It's against the law. But they will let you know when they're getting stuff in.
Sure.
So you know at least when to come down there. And I won't say that sometimes stuff won't make it to the shelf in time. But if you know when it's coming, you can always plan.
So you can't order one? Say, hey, buy me a case of this?
No, you can't do that. They only get they're a lot. They call them a lot.
Yeah.
So they only get like a case.
Okay.
Or 2 cases.
Let's say there's this is going to Oregon. Here's 10 cases of this stuff, and it's spread out through Oregon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you have a Oregon Liquor Commission?
Yes, definitely. Okay. OLCC.
And the whole reason they do that is theoretically it's to keep it fair for everybody. But the problem is that most places don't do that. Most places are like, oh, hey, just so you know, we're getting this case of this in.
Yeah.
And it's gone for 10 times the price it's supposed to be before it ever shows up. But the liquor store here in town, they don't raise the price at all.
No.
It's there. But they will usually they'll let me know at least when they're getting something, so I know it's coming.
So my family, in-law, or mom's family, they live in Aberdeen, Washington, which is 6 hours.
So Washington's different. Washington's not. All the liquor stores in Washington are owned by the state.
Yeah. So what they do is they'll take a trip specifically to buy alcohol to drive all the way to California, right over the border, and buy whatever the hell they want. And then they'll go home with like a truckload of booze. Specifically
They bought it themselves so they can sell it for whatever they want to.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, Washington, there's only one liquor store in Washington that's on an island that's owned privately. The rest of the estate
it's all
owned
state.
by the state.
So the state has a say
so. By
so.
the state, so they all have the exact same price, the exact same margin.
Exact.
So they can't raise their...
Exactly.
Yeah, no markup.
So basically, the
Or they
liquor store
set the
in Washington
markup.
Are basically they just work for the state. But yeah, Oregon it's similar, but not the same.
My uncle, the last time they did that, they stopped at Seven Feathers, and he ended up sleeping in his truck. And we were teasing him. It's like, what the fuck? You got this nice fancy room and all this. He goes, I got $8,000 worth of booze in that truck. I am not. It was pretty funny.
Leaving it unattended, huh?
I don't know how Wyoming is.
But it's
But
state.
if Wyoming is not regulated by the state,
It's
there are some
regulated
states
by the
that
state.
you can buy whatever for whatever price. So it all depends.
Yeah, it's definitely state regulated.
It's just so weird. And now Oregon with the marijuana shit, kind of trying to copy Colorado and all that stuff, but they're covering all of it with the alcohol side for the marijuana side.
Oh, no shit.
It's just a shit show, dude.
Really?
You still can't go into a dispensary here to buy, oil or cream or anything unless you use cash. They will not accept fucking credit.
Well, that's
because the banking is
federal.
FLCC.
Still federal,
yes,
illegal.
Right.
So
it's just, but it's pretty much controlled by the OLCC. It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's all.
So how do they do their bankroll?
Well, so I've got several friends who are in the marijuana industry, and they make deposits multiple times a week.
Cash.
$999,999.
There's a threshold. You can't pass that threshold.
Yeah.
And so,
as long as they're not over $10,000, they don't have to adhere to federal regulation. They can just deposit. They don't have to do any kind of claim or anything like that.
So it's got to be below $10,000.
And that's it, because that's the most that they can deposit.
It's weird.
Without doing a tax form and all that stuff. And so they just go and they deposit a couple times a week and go that route. And then I also have a lot of the same people. They'll come in here and they'll buy things. They buy firearms and whatnot as an investment that they're never even planning on firing. They just buy them so that they can sell them if they need to in the future or whatnot.
So you're basically their money laundering.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much. State approved.
It's legal laundering.
Totally state approved.
But that's just because it's legal by the state, but federally it's not. So they can get past the state taxes, but they can't get past the federal taxes. So they have to just monitor what they're doing.
Makes sense.
There's a way around everything.
Lots of cash. Lots of cash.
Lots of cash. There's always a way around something,
But they still have to get basically launder that, right?
Well, it's not even laundering. As long as they keep under the totals.
Then it's okay.
But so a lot of these.
As long as you're under $10,000 or $999,000. $9,999. You don't have to do any kind of tax.
So there's lots of homes, or I don't even want to say homes. Lots of people that have wads and wads of cash at their home because they can't get it to the bank in time fast enough, you know, and home securities are booming. Like I said,
systems going
like I
on.
said, the fab industries are just going crazy, making vaults and shit in people's houses and businesses, and
that's crazy.
Yeah,
it's good though. It works out for them, and they will do well.
Yeah,
I've got one friend who they're in the marijuana business, but they don't do like pot. They take all of their plants and turn them into
oils.
CBD oil.
The oils. Yeah.
Oh shit!
That's where the big money is.
Really?
They sell their oils to companies that make lotions.
And you can sell that, you know, federally all over the United States.
They do really well. In fact, my buddy that basically runs their company, he has started making a bunch of money being a consultant for other states and other people who are doing the same thing. And he goes out and helps them set their business and
follows the guidelines. And
a lot of people in like the rap and hip hop industry. And he spends a lot of time going out and helping those guys get their stuff.
For instance, John Belushi has one of the biggest fucking ranches in Oregon as far as marijuana grows.
Yeah, he's down in
Medford
Shady
area.
Cove.
No shit.
Yeah. And because
in fact, he lives right down the road from my wife's aunt.
That's where the money is. Yeah.
Every year he has a big
celebration. Yeah.
He has a big
community celebration. Yeah.
With live bands and shit. She goes to it every
year. That's just one instance that I can think of, but there's plenty of people in the music industry and shit like that, movie industry. Guy Fieri, he
stopped at John Belushi's fucking ranch.
And they
did he really?
Shit down there.
It's pretty amazing, dude.
Wow.
Money flow. You get rid of the timber industry, I guess, and then something's got to replace it.
Well, we can grocery here, that's for sure.
That's for damn sure.
That's why it's been turned into a big freaking. That's like the new.
The new vineyards.
Yeah, I mean, what was that in California? The
Humboldt County was the
Humboldt
and all that stuff down there. Now that's Oregon is
moving up.
The same thing.
Well, the climate's definitely nice here.
Yeah, the banana belt.
Lots of
really.
wine, lots of breweries, lots of distilleries.
I definitely like the climate.
Yeah, we kind of talked about it a little bit, and it's unique. It's definitely unique. You get to over the hill here, past Diamond Lake, where they consider that's the start of our high desert.
Oh, okay.
5,000 foot elevation, give or take, in that area, and it's totally different climate over there than it is
here.
Yeah, as far as the coldness and the water, you know.
Shit, we're at Rock Springs is like 6,700.
Yeah, so you'd be closer to Bend,
69.
more humidity, or
yeah, we're not
humidity, but weather more like Bend.
Yeah, we're drier than popcorn fart where we're at. We got a bit of snow. When snow hits, it stays on the ground forever.
Oh yeah, usually this area, because of the bowl, we kind of talked about the smoke a little bit when we were.
Yeah.
It's a valley, coast range, and then the Cascade, the high Cascades, just kind of troughs everything, sticks it right in here. And so the smoke is a big factor. It was never like that when I was a kid. Another one of those things that the forest fires are big fucking industry now. And
I don't remember any of that.
You get the federal monies. When I remember growing up, family members working for different logging companies and all that, big logging companies in Oregon. When there was a forest fire, every swinging dick that had anything to do with the timber industry went and fought that fire. Can't do that no more. You got to wait for state agencies and federal agencies before you can go fight a fire because they get the federal dollars every year. So it's an industry now. Let it burn.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
I just don't.
I'll tell you that for free.
They didn't. They put them out instantly, and you know there's lots of
business.
Lots of controversy. You know, the Indians, whatever, Native Americans used to burn and all that shit for their hunting grounds and stuff like that. Well, they don't do that now because the industry is the trees. And so now it's worth more to let it burn than it is to harvest them trees.
Really?
So,
wow.
It's ridiculous. It's stupid. Some of the biggest, in my lifetime, some of the biggest fires that we've had through here have happened within, the last 20 years because they get the federal dollars.
Damn.
And a lot of people say I'm full of shit, but that's what I see.
That's what I've seen, dude.
That's what a lot of people.
That's the way it is, huh?
You're talking billions of fucking dollars thrown at the state because of federal fires.
Damn. Well,
I'm pretty sure if me and Mike say it's happening,
I don't know.
That's
it's
it.
definitely a fact.
There's a lot of people that are educated and, they've got 8 or 10 plus years of schooling that'll argue with me, but
you have to freaking follow.
I'm looking at it
When
as a
there's
realistic
drug dudes
fucking
freaking talking
view.
about shit, that's really what's happening. And Mike and I are pretty much drunk. We decide what's happening.
Partially.
Sometimes.
I'm not.
No, not at all, Brad. You're not at all.
Partially.
You've been hanging out with us for the day. You're pretty good.
Yeah. You're
right
maintaining.
In fact, according to this glass, you're half a glass ahead.
Yeah, mine's
Half a
empty.
glass ahead.
So that means you're hammered.
Mine's empty.
I still see an olive in mine, so.
There's no alcohol in it.
Oh,
It's
no.
just an olive.
Yeah.
I don't think you've drank any alcohol, have you?
I've been
It's
trying
clear,
to.
it don't count.
I've been maintaining slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think.
I drink a beer.
Mike had to quit smoking a couple of years ago because he was
Yeah.
dying.
I thrashed my lungs.
Otherwise,
Did you?
yeah.
You guys are talking about cigars and stuff like that. And
He was literally wearing like a Star Wars freaking spacesuit
yeah.
Oh shit!
coming to
Yeah.
my house trying
Yeah.
to survive. And then his lungs like shut down. And I thought he was going to die. I thought I was going to lose my buddy.
I took a 9-day induced coma nap
Yeah.
because of my lungs.
You rebounded?
It was nuts.
And it's all good.
The only
But
reason I saw him in the hospital is because my wife made me.
she made you. You're like, fuck that guy. I ain't
Oh,
going
I
to see him.
You rebounded though.
I'm slowly. Yeah.
Nice.
I got this fucked up cough that I'll always have the rest of my life. But
Mike's got a tattoo on his chest that none of his kids had seen.
Uh-oh.
they all had to come see me in the hospital just to see my tattoo before I died.
Is that right?
Like every time one of his kids would come in, the nurses would pull his fucking clothes up so they could see his fucking tattoo because that's all they cared about.
Oh shit!
No, it's good. You guys were talking about inhaling cigars and stuff, and I was all John Wayne and it shit. And Clint Eastwood. And my fucking love was the cigarillos. The
Really?
long fucking slenders.
Yeah.
Yeah, those faggy looking.
But I inhaled that shit.
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
Mike was pretty good, dude.
I was. Carlos has changed me. I am no longer that way.
But no, really,
Fuck
he
you. It was
thought
rough.
For a little while, I might lose my buddy.
Yeah, it was rough.
And the whole reason I went to the hospital to see him when he was all fucked up like that was because my wife.
He wanted to see that tattoo.
No, my wife convinced me that I might not be able to see him again.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I went
shit.
in there and just tell him to quit being a fucking pussy.
So there's this,
And so basically, I saved his life.
Yeah, you did.
So you encouraged him.
Yeah, he did.
Quit being a fucking pussy.
He was my inspiration.
Nice.
So there's this local business organization. They rate local business and stuff. And he happened to be on the cover of a fucking book. And so they propped this fucking book up with Carlos's picture in my room.
What was the headline?
Actually, the headline on the catalog was "Women in Business."
Come on, man. Was that with the cleavage?
Yes, it was. It was.
That was a Women in Business episode.
Then, of course, Sarah, knowing her, she writes Big Poppy and Sharpie under it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
that
bro.
was before Big Poppy.
I was worried about my buddy,
Nice.
and I came in to tell him he quit being a fucking pussy.
What the fuck are you doing here? Get the fuck out of
I
here.
saved his life.
You come in hot.
Yeah,
Well,
he
no,
did.
Obviously, he's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Nice love.
He just came in to see all the hot nurses and shit.
There was none.
None.
There was like a 4-foot Asian
Yeah,
that was not hot.
it works for me.
Where was that at?
Here in
Here at the
town.
A
hospital.
little Sasquatch action.
Yes. Yes.
is
Sasquatch
tall.
Mike.
Sasquatch is tall. This is like a,
Squatchy
it's
Mike.
like a Sasquatch turd.
I've seen some of that shit.
Squatchy Mike.
Little
Here we
squatching.
go.
No, he was dying, dude. And then right after him, my dad ended up getting the
Same fucking.
It was all COVID, dude.
Right
They were all
before
dying.
COVID.
Oh,
All
fuck.
these fucking pussies with weak lungs.
Yeah.
That COVID ain't no fucking joke.
No,
Pussies,
it don't fuck
yeah,
around.
It really fucked up the pussies.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily,
Is it?
I'm not
Well,
a pussy.
Mine was predate on the COVID, so they don't say it was COVID.
Yeah.
That's
So-
bullshit.
Well,
I was fucked up.
so Mike lost his dad during that whole bullshit,
Yeah.
and they listed his dad as a COVID fatality,
Did they?
but he never
On the
once tested
Yeah,
positive for COVID.
it was a bunch of bullshit. On the autopsy, it said COVID related.
That's so fucked up. I don't know what that's goddamn government
It's
generated.
government fucking
Well,
money.
Fuck
That's all it is.
bullshit.
the fucking hospital got their, $75,000
Yeah.
out of it just by labeling it that.
That's exactly what it was.
They should have given that
fucking
money straight to
millions.
Mike, you
Eh,
should have got $75,000.
Yeah, that's so fucked
fuck
up.
the money. I just want to punch somebody,
Yeah,
Yeah, that's horseshit.
Mm.
dude, Big Mike was the best.
He was a fucking animal, dude.
I
love it.
Fuck with that guy,
He had lots of character.
Yeah.
dude. Right,
Your pops?
Yeah.
the year before he
Hell of a
passed
guy.
away, I went out to Mike's house and I showed up there, and when I pulled in their driveway, they were all standing in the driveway with the hood pop.
My dad smoked a
On
cigar.
his dad's
He's-
truck. And they're all just standing there staring at the fucking under the hood. And I was like, what's going on? He goes, these fucking squirrels are getting under my truck and eating my shit.
eating the
I
insulation.
said, oh, yeah? Well, what are you doing? And he goes, we're going to replace it. I go, you're not going to do nothing about the squirrels? You're just going to replace it? Well, yeah. I go, aren't they just going to get back into there and eat the shit again?
He goes, yeah, probably.
And I was just fucking with it. And Mike couldn't even talk. He was laughing so fucking hard. Fucking with his dad. So fucking. And he's just like, oh, yeah, probably. And I was like, so you're just going to keep doing the same shit? You're just going to fucking just replace it?
And he's like,
You're
the
not gonna
hell.
Kill the squirrels?
God
or
damn
fucking
it.
Get rid of them?
That's what we got to do.
Oh, well, you can't do nothing, blah, blah, blah. And Mike's just laughing his ass off. It was
Right
fun.
on. How long you guys been buddies?
Since me and my wife got together, 20 years.
We've known each other a little bit before
Well,
then.
we knew each other before, but we didn't become friends until my wife and I got together.
Heck yeah.
Before
So-
that, we were just two guys that had bad reputations.
Just
and everything.
total
Thought
assholes
it'd be cool to try
run-
and get us to fight each other.
running around town. Every time we'd show up somewhere, it's like, hey, let's drink.
Yeah. Actually, it was Carlos is here and he wants to fight you, and Mike's here and he wants to fight you, and I was like, all right. And then we freaking
Hey,
just drink and never fight each other. And then when Sarah and I got together, Mike happened to be one of her best friends. And he and I start hanging out, and now she gets pissed off because we're better friends than her.
Yeah, she gets hurt feelings easy. But he has to deal with it. I don't.
Dramatic,
No way.
women are so dramatic.
No.
They want to know why guys don't want to hang out together. It's because fucking women are.
Because we can laugh about shit. They can't.
You just let shit go. We don't have to freaking grudge about it.
Well,
They hold on.
all it takes is
They got a mind like an elephant.
Yeah, they're crazy. We were talking about it at lunch. Dude, they're nuts.
I don't know
and
what
you don't
you're
know
talking
which way
about.
they're going to go. Sometimes they go just straight down the crazy train.
Sometimes it's this way.
They start fucking bawling about everything.
Sometimes they surprise the fuck out of you. You're like, wow. Nothing?
Yeah.
Nothing?
The best thing to do is you just go. You just act like nothing's happening. And
Sorry,
you're
babe.
so mad.
I'm here for you,
Just let 'em
babe.
Get mad and forget about them.
What can I do for you?
Yeah, I've learned a few things in my years.
I bet. Any advice is welcome.
You're right. I'm wrong.
You're right.
I'm sorry.
Lots of
Oh,
I'm
that's the
sorry.
worst thing you do.
No, that is not.
If you admit that you're sorry, that's at least 4 more conversations.
I'm telling you, those 3 right there.
I'm telling you, I disagree completely.
Carlos, it'll make things a lot smoother.
It comes
in your
back
life.
months later. Remember that time you were sorry?
If you just convince them,
Mine's
that
like
they're
an elephant, Carlos.
No, if you tell them that you're sorry, that's like
Jesus.
4 more conversations.
Let me
If
ask
you
you.
convince them that they're crazy, that's only 2 conversations.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. But I'll tell you what. Can you ask your wife if she can remember something 15 years ago?
Dude, I don't do that. My wife remembers everything.
But that's my point exactly.
Yeah. You gotta convince
They
them
won't.
it was wrong.
They will not forget.
No, you gotta convince them it was wrong.
No, you are in trouble, my friend.
No, it's worked out great for me.
It's worked out great,
Sarah?
he says.
If you're listening,
Don't believe him. Don't believe him. I see this stuff.
Don't tell her she's nuts.
I see it.
And
buckle
you
up.
gotta have a good friend like Mike.
Babe.
No, dude, that's not what happened.
I just stir the pot, you know.
You just stir it.
You gotta have a backup.
Sometimes I
You
do,
gotta have
yeah.
backup, Brad.
And then sometimes, you know, what the fuck ever, and then you just look at each of them and say, yeah, you're right.
You're right. I'm sorry.
The best thing now, the thing that me and Mike do now is we always hit her with, why are you so angry all the time? She gets so mad.
I'm not fucking angry. Why do you keep saying that?
She'll just not talk to us anymore after that because she thinks she's fucking angry.
I love her. She's awesome.
It's the best.
She's got me.
So what happens when you tell her she's right?
What the fuck will we tell her she's right? God damn it, Brad. You're such a fucking pussy.
Oh my God.
What happens?
Nothing. I don't tell her she's
She
right.
gets a big head. I told
Damn.
you.
No, you don't do that.
No more fight.
Dude, if you ever admit
Oh
they're
no.
right, then you lose every battle.
Negative. You're right, babe.
You're right.
No. If you tell them they're wrong from the
Or,
start, they're
like-
always wrong.
When you got in the truck, you fucking hung up the phone. Carl's like, I guess you're done talking. Yep.
Yeah, buddy. I've learned some things in time too.
Yeah, and then you answered the phone.
Wisdom.
She called you back. Fuck that. You hung up on me.
Did I?
No. Yeah, you answered again.
Did I?
We gotta teach you the rules.
I think I've been learning you a little bit.
That's
Oh,
right.
no.
I'll take any advice.
Happiness.
I failed twice at the whole marriage thing. And
So did I. Sarah's my third wife.
You're crazy.
The mother chick.
You're fucking crazy. No, you're
Third one's
crazy.
crazy too, but I'm done. So I'm just gonna keep
What if you heard they're all crazy?
They,
I would agree.
that's just in general.
Say
They are
yes.
nuts.
You just got to determine how much crazy you're willing to deal with.
Yes. How much do you want to put up with?
That's why guys just like. Okay.
Well, guys are the same. Fuck,
Guys-
they're crazy.
Well, no, guys
Yeah.
just kind of agree. We shake our heads. We're like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, because we don't have to argue.
No.
Women have to argue.
Well, we have to be right?
No, we don't have to be right. I know I'm right 90% of the time. I'll let my wife think she's right.
You have to be right.
No, dude.
Yeah.
I've been right my whole life.
When it
I've
comes
only
to
actually accepted the fucking rightness maybe 5% of the time.
5,
Maybe.
Come on, Mike.
I say at work, yeah, with my employees, I'm right no matter what. When it comes to the home life, yeah, it's probably more of a 50-50 thing.
Mike don't even got an old lady.
No,
You got an old lady
I'm
that
talking about my
very well
kids,
protected.
man. With my kids and
Yeah, no, I don't.
with the wives and stuff, I was never right. That's why I'm divorced.
Yeah.
You're right, baby. I'm wrong.
You know why Mike doesn't have
I'm
a
sorry.
lady
I'm sorry.
now? You know why Mike doesn't have a lady now?
Hmm.
Because he's obsessed with fucking midgets.
Midgets.
And there's very few midgets
Well,
around here.
you got to look at it as this perspective
Mike
right
wants to be able
here.
to lift his lady up. Literally. Just
Jesus.
spin her around.
You got to look at it
That's
like this,
fucked up,
unicorns, fairies, stuff like that.
Midgets are right there with unicorns.
They are because they don't fucking exist. They ain't gonna happen.
Oh my god, dude. When
Bigfoot.
When Mike finally hooks up with a fucking midget, I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna be in
call her a
heaven.
Leprechaun. She's gonna be a leprechaun.
Leprechaun.
Mike's leprechaun lady.
Hey, for Halloween or something, you want to paint yourself green?
But she's gonna be like, I don't know why Mike likes me. I'm like, it's because he can lift you up and spin you around.
That's right. That'll be in the prenups.
One-handed.
It's like bowling.
Oh my god, dude.
Well, yeah, that too.
Oh shit. Shocker.
Shocker. That's crazy. Crazy talk.
Yeah. Brad, I can't wait till you move down here.
It'll be great.
Well, thank you.
We're gonna hang out all the time.
Damn right.
You and I, we're gonna write a book
Mm.
All right.
about fucking whiskeys and cigars. It's
Mhm.
gonna be the best.
All right.
We can start our own little podcast, or we just try shit out.
Okay. I'm down for that.
Two old dudes on a fucking porch.
I'm telling your wives that you're right. You're right.
You know,
You're
they're
right.
not allowed to fucking
Yeah.
talk.
I'm sorry.
They'll ruin the whole thing.
I love it.
That's
We're
classic,
Shut up!
Mike.
We're not talking to you.
This is my time.
That's good stuff, Mike.
I'm trying.
Mike's gonna come on and be like, if I could smoke a cigar and didn't die, I think that's the one I would smoke.
That's probably the one I would like. It smells good from here.
Even Mike used to drink whiskey with me, and then he fucking
Yeah.
and start drinking fucking gin.
Well, you had to fucking move, so I'm not driving through Roseburg drunk.
So you can drive drunk with gin, but not with fucking whiskey?
Yeah, it takes a lot of gin to get me drunk.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh
I don't
my
buy
gosh.
it, dude. I don't buy it.
Compared to the whiskey, yeah. Because like I told you, I can't. If it's good, it's getting drank.
Yeah, buddy.
Try to find something that's got that bite to it. I don't want to drink a bunch of that.
I like it.
Brad, I hope you've had fun, dude.
Yeah, had a
You were
great
little
time.
Nervous about coming on.
Oh yeah.
Did I tell you? Was I true? Was it
Yeah,
pretty
absolutely. Pretty decent. The whiskey didn't hurt.
No.
Well,
Never,
that's why I
never,
smoked
never.
lunch, so I get a head start.
Yeah.
Got me primed up, huh?
Get something in your
All right.
belly.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thank you.
It was awesome.
You said when we were taking a break, you're like, I've been telling stories my kids haven't even heard.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's cool, dude.
Some of those, and I didn't touch on some of them, and we won't.
Yeah, we won't.
So-
He says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next time. Maybe.
I'm telling you, dude, it's fucking awesome because
Yeah.
that's one of the advantages of technology is
Later in life.
later in life when you're fucking gone, when you're a puddle of mud,
Jesus.
your freaking kids can come back and they'll be like, dude, I really miss my dad today. And they can pull up an episode and freaking listen to your fucking bullshit about some half-assed story you told when you were gone.
This is
Yeah.
what we
Where you
did.
tell the whole truth where you fucking shot the guy and fucking killed him.
5 times.
And,
Not 4, but 5.
I'll tell you what, there's nothing like when you're getting shot at, smelling the gunpowder.
Yeah.
Your
Get your heart.
sphincter.
I'm sure that adrenaline's crazy.
It
Yeah,
gets you going a little bit, huh?
But the sphincter is flexing for sure.
Ooh.
I'm sure.
You're
Yeah.
you pulling in,
When
doing
I
the
was about 9 years old, we were hunting one year, and my grandpa and uncle set me on the top of a fucking landing because they wanted to go hunt, and I was in the way. Basically, they're like, "You sit here on this stump, and we're gonna go out here, and we're gonna push deer out here, and if you see a deer, shoot it." With no intention of ever pushing any deer or anything. Somebody shot that fucking stump I was sitting on. I fucking freaked out.
Yeah.
I was a little kid. I was probably 10 years old, maybe 11 years old. And it scared the shit out of me. And my grandpa and my uncle came out, and we did not get a deer.
You got a big old turd, huh?
Yeah.
There might have been a turd. I don't remember.
Give me some
Well, you
new.
probably shit yourself.
Give me some new whitey
I know it scared the
tighties.
shit out of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the whole intention. They were just trying to get me out of the way,
Yeah.
and
You didn't pull the old Rick James shit and say,
Yeah.
"Miss me, bitch."
but they shot that fucking stump, and I was fucking scared to death. And but yeah, I mean that's the whole idea behind it. I mean, you don't.
It's
even
crazy.
If you want to fucking scare somebody or get people out of the way, you never know what's.
No, shit, no. But I gotta say, we're pretty close to closing up.
Oh yeah.
For my children, Cody, Savoy, Megan, Badger, and
Badger's bitch, by the way.
that's my boy. That's my baby. And my grandchildren, I got out here. I said a couple things from my heart, but my heart, you guys mean more to me than anything. I will do anything for you. And I want you to know I love you more than life itself.
That's phenomenal.
That's awesome.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Couldn't be any better than that.
So
I'll tell you what, Brad. You freaking you inspire me, dude. I mean, I try and be a cool grandpa and try and be a cool dad, but you always outdo me, dude. One of these days you might end up stabbed in the ribs, dude. I'm telling you.
Shit.
that's
I don't know what's going to happen. We're pretty good buddies, but you might be smoking one of my cigars when I'm stabbing you.
you just
Hey, Brad. He's all talk.
Yeah.
Sarah won't let that happen.
I'm pretty
I'll get
fucking-
Sarah on him.
Yeah.
Really,
Babe.
it's. I love the fact that we have some fucking awesome grandkids. I love our kids.
It's cool to see the
I love
camaraderie
your
between you
kids.
two.
Fucking Badger cracks me up.
He's a
Funniest dude.
damn comedian,
That kid
man.
needs to be a stand-up comedian.
He
not a
does,
drummer.
definitely.
It's my boy. He's
I know
my
he
baby.
likes turds, but kid should be on stage.
yeah, he'd make some
And
money.
Megan cracks me up too. She's amazing. She's hilarious. I know she's got different things in her mind for the future, but she's fucking funny, dude. She's awesome.
I got some amazing
And-
children.
Yeah,
Savoy,
I
who
agree.
married my daughter, is way too serious. That kid needs to relax.
Take a breath.
I love it because my daughter is me, and I'm never serious. So, I mean, really they balance each other out well. And I love it. I love the fact that you're part of my family now. And,
Thank you.
It's pretty damn cool.
Really, I mean, I'm doing everything I can to help you get here because I don't want you to be one. I don't
Right on.
And I love it. I love the fact that you're part of my family.
Thank you. Same.
The lamest fucking thing ever is the fact that the best fucking definition I could find of family that is like when a daughter and son marry is just the in-laws. That's the gayest shit.
You want it to be the Charlie.
Come up with some better name for that shit. So we're gonna work on that.
So you guys in the Charlie Chocolate Factory movie, the original, you'll be the grandparents all in the same bed.
You need to come with some better shit. That was fucking
No, that'll be cool.
No, that was lame.
Grandpa, let's go.
Still lame, Mike. Still lame. Still lame. But I love it. I love the fact that you're part of the family now. And I hope that you get moved out here soon.
Thank you. Right on.
Yep.
I hope you had fun hanging out with us.
I did.
And maybe one of these days you'll come back on the show and
Yeah.
just talk shit like Mike or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get into some real stuff.
Yeah, you can make fun
Some
of me.
real stuff. Yeah, just the random.
I love it.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, I think we're doing good, so I think we'll call it a day.
Who's this?
Mike, it was good having you on.
Of course it is.
Brad, I hope you had a good time.
Hell yeah.
And to all my guests, until next time, you guys have a good weekend.